Oh, why is it not playing my? You gotta be kidding me. Oh my goodness. Mm. Welcome to Dipito. How you doing, Simon? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. We've had technical
Let's try that again.
difficulties.
Oh my God.
My intro video, I don't know what was said at the beginning of the top of the hour. I don't know what was said, but the video
I like the
wasn't playing.
disclaimer song. Dude, that disclaimer song. Seriously, I was like, oh, dude, yeah. I'm about to go get my turntables out of the garage. Just off
I worked
the old
on that
1200.
last night. I like everyone said you got to have music to it, and so that was when we were looking for the branding song for the show. I couldn't decide between that song and the one that we have, and so I'm like, I can use them both.
Dude, that's fire, man. That's a good beat, but it brings that a little bit of that intensity that says, hey,
yeah.
This is not financial advice. You have to do your own research. Just like get on there, punch a few keys, ask AI right now. It's so easy to do a little research. Ask AI. It will give you a generic answer possibly. And then you can go down a rabbit hole for the next 3 months. And then go, oh, crap. Do I still have a job?
Right? Yeah. I know. Well, I have to ask that myself. Do I have a job? So how's your week? Happy hump day. We have 40 people in here tonight so far. Welcome to the Dipito Show, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get this out here. I have to say, Stone was the very first one the other night. He was in the
such
chat.
An overachiever.
We have Island Ghost Stephanie. What's up, Steph? Lower levels in here. Throw Inks in here. Susan Roblin.
We got IMU in the house.
Ooh, Edward. I'm not going to be able to say it. Franz Zowski. Franz, I apologize, Edward. I appreciate you for coming to the Dipito Show, and I will practice. Saying your name in private until I can get it. We got Pearly Kate in here. What's up? Kerba, Ooga Booga. Who else we have in here? We're awesome. Awesome intro. Yeah, thank you, Susan. I'm loving it so far. XRP Renegade Fitzy's in here. What's up? Dude's in here. Man, guys, we have a lot of people in here already. I love it.
Much love, Stone. Much love. I love it.
This is I'm trying to name out Independent Music Universe. What's up? Shout out, guys. Yeah, if you guys would please share this out and get more people in here. This is going to be a great show. Hey, Megan, what's up, my friend? Daddy Mark, Zach, and Zay's in here in the house. My friend Michael Blanton from the Pride of Zone, the East Side. What up, Mike Blanton? Love you, man. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, so calm down, Melissa. This is going to be a very interesting show. As you know, I am like Miss Nervous Nancy sometimes when it comes to different things. And that's, the whole dip a toe mentality is all what I'm all about. And the meme culture is a big thing. It's been a big thing for a long time. I've been very nervous about dipping my toe into it. But I've been in a lot of spaces and networking, listening to Stone's Coffee and Crypto in the morning, and Uncle Buster, who we have on tonight. I'm so excited. Amanda, Optimistic Prime's here. And I'm realizing that there's more to these meme tokens than meets the eye. And so I thought this would be a perfect time to dive into the wild world of meme tokens. And so, we're going to explore these quick, quirky cryptocurrencies and find out what they're all about, because there's a lot of talk about them, the famous rug pulls that we all hear about. But it occurred to me that, there's huge potential for advertising and brand recognition with these things. And so I wanted to kind of have this be an educational conversation where we talk about how businesses might harness their viral appeal, and maybe brainstorm some other creative ideas for what meme tokens could be used for. And I couldn't think of any better two guests than Uncle Buster. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Uncle Buster is one of my favorite shows on YouTube and now on X. His co-host Berserker, they have shows called The Boardroom, XRP Boardroom, and then Coffee Time with Uncle Buster and Berserker. And those guys are just fire. They're much like the Dip a Toe show, but they have tons of different people coming on. They throw their link out there and they let people come up and chat with them. And it's always a great time. And then, of course, we have, and the other thing is that he has created a Bluminati token for his Blue Crew. And so you might see, like, I gave out some blue wrenches in our YouTube. I'm kind of copying Uncle Buster and Berserka's idea. But they've really built quite a community with their shows. And so I'm really excited to hear why he created the Bluminati token, and talk to him about that. And then, of course, Amanda, as we know, she's been on this show. She has the Wandering Footprint Project, and quite an elaborate idea going on of what she wants to build and see people have for the Wanderers. And so it's just it's exciting times. And sorry, I just blah, I mean, I'm super excited and nervous at the same time.
Why are you so nervous?
I don't know, man.
Come on, man.
Everyone truly happy's in the house. Clean green carpet cleaning.
I mean, like,
Amanda's here.
Did you
Becky,
like throw all your money at a few meme coins and we don't know about it, and the market just changed? A little bit, took a dip, or no? Oh, but then why?
Well, the reason. Well, so what I will say is, I don't dip my toe into things that I don't research first. Okay. And that's the one thing about this show, and we're trying to encourage people to do their own research. And so you really do want to look into these tokens before you just jump in, right?
I know where you're at. I know what you're trying to do. And
what am I trying to do?
This is what I think you're trying to do. And I think it's really good that we kind of talk about this a little bit in the Dip a Toe, because this is something actually we really kind of don't talk about. You want to go all in on meme coins, but being super cautious, you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I need to calm down. Calm down. Right? So you're actually battling yourself and trying not to jump all in on this, because you see the value, you see the excitement, you see the creative side, you know, and all the
implications. I know
Thank
what you mean.
Man, we know what you mean. Another guy by the name of Bitcoin Ben would have been stuck on that for 20 minutes in one of his videos. Just saying, much love, Bitcoin Ben.
Love you.
But that's where you're at, right? That's totally natural. I get that, man. Like, because all of us in the crypto space, we've got excited. We've been rug pulled in some way, shape, or manner. Doesn't have to be in the traditional sense, but the next time we're like, oh, dude, this looks like the last time. And I'm feeling really excited like I was the last time. Okay, we got to walk away. We got to go. We got to call our crypto sponsor. Boop, boop. Hey, dude, having a hard day, bro. There's this. Have you heard of these meme coins? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. They got to talk you off the ledge, so to speak. But I think that's great. That's why you're nervous. It makes sense.
That's why I'm nervous. I'm nervous and excited because, like I said, I love Uncle Buster. Been a huge fan of his for a long time. And, I love Amanda, and we have a special guest joining us later this evening. Ooga Booga is going to be joining. Ooga Booga is going to come in and answer some questions, and so maybe I'm a little nervous because Ooga Booga's coming too. I don't know, but I want everybody to know, it is a do your own research. We always say crypto is not for sissies, but I do think that it's worthy for people to have a conversation surrounding meme coins and tokens and understand that they're not all just rug pulls, that there are people out there working. So what do we say? Let's get these guys up in here.
Let's bring the party people in the house tonight.
We got Uncle Buster and we got Amanda.
Yo.
Welcome to the Dip and Toe Show.
Welcome to Dip and Toe.
Pretty good, man.
I'm glad to be here, man. It's I was a little nervous. I don't know why, but
you were nervous. I was nervous.
Yeah.
No. And hello, Amanda. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. I mean, it's we're dipping our toe and we're sharing what we've learned so far. And so, and it's, we're creating the future right here in the moment. So it's pretty exciting. And it's always nerve-wracking going live, no matter, the two of you have a lot more experience, but.
I have a question for the both of you, Amanda and Uncle Buster. How long have y'all been doing interactive social media live type things like over on TikTok or that? How long have you guys been doing that? Consistently or on and off again? Either one.
Uncle Buster, you want to go first?
No, you go ahead. Start it up.
I love it.
I started doing TikToks, but they were one-sided. I did the video and that was sort of, and I told James I started TikToking so that I could get used to the hate and be able to navigate the hate, because that was really triggering for me. And so that was in 2020 when I started that. I started probably going on a few lives on TikTok around 2021, but, pretty much only community members. And if things got any weird, I got off and I dip a lot. And then my first experience on Spaces was last spring when J68J invited me on his show. That was the first time I was like being consistently interviewed. And that was a live show, but not like this. And then I didn't touch Spaces again because that first time really scared me. It terrified me. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And so I didn't do another space until this fall, when Melissa, when you guys interviewed me and I started coming on, more regularly. And then Stone invited me up to, Steph. It was actually Steph. I met Steph here and she was really encouraging to get me into Spaces. And so the first time she saw me in the audience, she called me up, and she's always, such a positive force in encouraging. And just like, because she also has the even though she's been doing it for years too, she's also nervous. So it put my mind at ease. And then being here in Stone's show was really the beginning of me being okay with interacting and sharing my thoughts in real time and not being too afraid of like saying the wrong thing, like trusting myself enough. But it's still terrifying. I mean, exactly. It is terrifying.
No, I get that. I'll get to the reason why I asked that. Go ahead, Buster. Tell me what you got. That's awesome.
Yeah. shoot, I think we started 2021 Zerk. It all started with Zerk because I got Zerk in crypto like 2020.
Okay.
And then he sort of went on the YouTube in the chats, started being Blue Crew for other channels and stuff. And then
okay.
He was doing Crypto Night Live at the time before Coffee Time was created. And I was just one of the people that called up, I'd call in on the show and I would join the show on my phone and stuff. So I was just supporting him. But then one day he popped over. He's all, bro, you got to listen to yourself speak, bro. You're spitting fire, right? And I've never listened to myself, right? And I heard myself, and I'm just going through the same spill because I've been in the crypto game for like 7.5 years.
Yep.
And I've got a lot of people, and I had a job where I was in and out of grocery stores. So, I had like 15 to 20 grocery stores.
Love. You were spreading the nuggets.
I owned a Mission tortilla route at the time, and
oh nice,
bro. When I hit the back rooms, like the receiver be like, "Oh, so and so's looking for you." Like every store, somebody's looking for me, man.
Yeah.
So I sort of took that, and then finally he brought a mic and a camera, and we started Coffee Time, and then started honing it in on Coffee Time. And yeah, the show's definitely growing.
It's a great show. It's a great show. Because Simon, I know you're asking him that, but he mentioned the Blue Crew. And I wanted him to just kind of say what the Blue Crew is, because I don't think people know. Not everybody knows what the Blue Crew is.
Yeah, the Blue Crew is like the moderators on YouTube. So like a lot of the X side don't really know the Blue Crew. So I was thinking about like, I'm just going to do a Blue Crew coin. And that was my initial thing. Because I was watching a couple people that watch the show on a different channel. And everybody's shilling other people's stuff, and I'm like, man, let's get something sort of tokenized that we all could sort of put some time and effort and build something of value, and everybody shill something they're a part of, instead of, because the Blue Crew support's just amazing, man. But yeah, there's a lot of pushing other people's stuff, just out of the love for, what it is. And a lot of, even the meme coin talking, I wasn't happy because I'm a hodler at heart, man. I'm like 90% hodl, but I play hard with the other 10%. I do play, and I've learned a lot of shit by playing.
Yep.
So I understand the different mentalities. And then when I really looked in the meme, what made me even look was just everyone's like, oh, it's going to zero once XRP goes up. Oh, it's going to zero. And then once I really started looking at the AMMs, and understanding like that shit's built in the ledger. It's not XP market AMM. You know what I'm saying? No, and once you understand that it's tied to XRP, I was like, this stuff ain't going away, folks, but and it's a different aspect to that. So, I like projects, meme is people like the meme one, but there's a lot of rug pulls. But my question is, why is it so cheap if they just made it 1,000 XRP to make a coin versus 100, you get rid of, that would eliminate 90% of rug pulls right there. It's so cheap to make a coin. Just make it more expensive.
I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't either.
So I'm gonna go from the business aspect of why make it so cheap. Okay, why make it so cheap? And by the way, thanks for sharing, both of you, Optimistic and Uncle Buster.
Let's hear it, Optimistic.
What was your reason for asking the question?
Okay, well, my reason was nervousness, right? Okay, so like before I did crypto, before I did construction, man, I was a DJ. That was my dream. I chased that thing, and it took me a solid 5 years to really just be okay, mic in my hand, either in a club or, more importantly, at a wedding. Like the one time in this couple's life, it's supposed to be like super perfect, right? I would get really, really nervous there, making sure I didn't want to say the right thing or the wrong thing. And I asked that, how long you've been doing it? Because I recognized about the 5th year of me consistently doing a thing, I found my way with it. And I found my way, not just my normal, maybe like one-liners or things that I would always say that I noticed about myself that I would kind of lean on, right? But it would get the crowd involved or the comment section kind of rolling, right? I figured out about the 5th year how I could like kind of pivot those in and out with different ones and really experiment, as opposed to I just don't want to mess this up. It was like, no, I kind of do want to mess this up, because real talk, if I was just having a conversation, if this was just the four of us like it is now, I mean, yes, this is live on YouTube, but real talk, it's just like four of us at the bar, you know, margaritas and chips, baby. I mean, that's all this is in a roundabout way, but we don't recognize this, right? Because when I was DJing at a nightclub, dude, I thought I hit it big time, right? Like all the DJs that I grew up listening to, all the MCs that I grew up listening to, this is what they did. They were in a booth like mine and all this, right? But that was me psyching myself out. So I asked that because, you know, it's about 5 years, just to let y'all know, it's about 5 years to where you're just like, nah, I know my stuff. Or when you go back and listen to yourself, and Melissa does a really good job of that. But Uncle Buster, you talked about that, going back and listening to yourself and going, actually, yeah, I'm going to take a little credit on this, even though I don't do that. That was actually pretty good. Okay. You know, I too did that as well. And I know Optimistic, I know she does. I know she goes back and checks herself out.
Oh yeah, I'm being like that. No, somebody once told me that Michael Jordan, that's what he used to do. That's what made him so good, is that he would go back and watch all of his own games and assess like he's having his own personal competition with himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I always go back and watch and I usually my answer is, well, you can't change it, so you might as well just embrace it and
just own that, baby. Just own it. Own it. Yeah. Own it.
I've often listened back and said, I might not have should have said that bad word. It was unnecessary.
Look, it's in the dictionary, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
So 1,000 XRP to start a meme coin, right? That was the thing. From in my sense of mind, or my mind sense. Oh my God, I can't even talk tonight at all. From a business standpoint, as a creator of a ledger, right? You need to test this thing out, and you need to make it very, very affordable, you know, to see what works, to see what doesn't. It's almost like putting a bacteria in a petri dish, not that we're bacteria, and just saying, okay, let it go. Okay, now add some milk to it, or add a little Coca-Cola, or, you know, add some, I don't know, add some flour, whatever, just to see the interaction, right? Because all these meme coins, even though all of us have been taken one time or another, right? What's happening there is like it's proof of concept over and over and over. Mm-hmm. Melissa, you were talking just a little bit ago about pre-show about how these meme coins, you know, are really kind of a good practice before you really do the big show, right? Before you put in your big money to create something bigger, better, and uncut, you know, kind of.
Well, what my opinion on it is as I've been dipping my toe, and I thank Amanda for that, because she's really pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and listening to Stone's morning spaces, and having all the guests that we've had on the show, whether it's Text RP or XP Market, you know, all of these are considered meme type tokens, or, you know, altcoins, those sort of things. What I've realized is that, you know, not all memes are created equal. For one, not all memes deserve the title of being a rug pull with nefarious people intending to take all of your money. And where, you know, initially I might have thought that, but the more that I've done my research, and like we say, crypto's not for sissies. The meme culture is, in my opinion, and I kind of want your guys' take on this, is that it's kind of like the guinea pig factory of testing out these things. What real world utility, what real world solve can we do with these tokens? And so, you know, the different blockchains and ledgers have different opportunities for people to build things on. And, you know, the XRP ledger, for one, with the fact that they have most of the mechanics put in place, makes it really easy for people to build on the XRP ledger. And so what I see are a bunch of people trying to build real world solves or branding for their communities and that. And so, yeah, there's going to be some failures. There's going to be a lot of failures. But if you do your research and you really look into the different projects that you're wanting to, support. I don't even want to say invest your money, right? Like I don't even want to say it as an investment, because I think they're kind of the meme culture. It could be that you just want to support a community. And so I wanted your guys' take on, do you think that this is, am I on the right track when I'm thinking, that it's kind of a guinea pig world right now where, let's see what works. What can we do with these? Even as far as tokenomics and setting them up and trying to figure out how many tokens to hold and all of that stuff. It's not as simple as what people think is. It's just like creating a coin and throwing it out there and, hey, give me some money type thing. So whoever wants to throw their 2 cents in.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And it sort of ties into like my reaction because, if it was 1,000 XRP, I wouldn't be here. And, for me, I think there's a lot of things that people believe about, if it's this way or if it's this way, then for sure it's not this way, like if it's, if your issuer is burned and, there's these things that people, if it's divided up and there's only less than 20% in the dev wallet, or, there's all these rules that people are being trained into believing that's sort of an assessment on whether or not a token is good or bad. All of these things don't really matter when it comes down to the person behind the project. And ultimately, it's the people behind the project that matter more than anything else, more than tokenomics, more than anything. And in my experience, I've been a part of a lot of groups over the past 5 years since I started building on the blockchain. And, in a few cases, they tried to convince me to build on Ethereum, Base, Solana, things like that. And I was like very clear, no. And one of the reasons, like one of the first suggestions / not coercions, but like they were really trying to get me to build on Ethereum. And one of those first things was like to do a pre-sale and then to put in what I, raise from the pre-sale into the liquidity pool. Because as far as I comprehend it, in the system, like this system that they were trying to teach me, Ethereum or whatever, you had to start off with a liquidity pool. And because of that, you had to start off with a certain amount of liquidity or else your token was zero. And just like, a lot of the rug pulls, and we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, come from people getting rock bottom prices on a huge amount, the people that have a lot of money who come in. And so my argument, to play the devil's advocate, would be that when you make it that high, only the people that have that much money get it. And that I've noticed that in a lot of cases, they're people who've already rug pulled. So they're people who've rug pulled, have the money and the liquidity to put money into the next rug pull and change their wallets and everything. So for me, my only argument would be that, now I've made my tokens outside of First Ledger, and I've made my tokens outside of these systems where they force you to have it at pool. So I've really eliminated a lot of the sniper bots and, the people coming in under the radar and stealing all your tokens and then having the capabilities of rugging you. At least I've tried to. And so for me, when it comes to First Ledger and when you create a token, you're automatically have to create an AMM pool. Putting in only 100 XRP is pretty much the quickest way to get screwed. Like Buster said, I mean, if the pool is much higher and, there's a baseline to your tokens, then it's a whole other conversation. But for me, I would say that if it was 1,000 XRP, there's no way I could build what I build. And the reason why I started on Stellar and then it gradually moved over to the XRPL is because Stellar was one Stellar to make a token, and that was 7 cents. And so all of a sudden, I had an opportunity to do something in the world.
To learn. Right?
Yeah, to learn and to explore my imagination and to explore what I wanted to do. And ultimately, my journey into the memes was reversed to everybody else because I created the vision of the utility tokens and work trade token and kindness token. And then I decided to make a meme token as a beacon for the project because I saw the hype, because I saw the visual projection of like almost like a calling card, which is actually why I, Uncle Buster and the Bluminati token, I was so drawn to, obviously, because I have a blue umbrella token. We're celebrating our 1 year this week. And one of the boys from the crew, pardon?
Team Blue.
Team Blue. And one of the boys wrote me, was like, I just found you on Dip a Toe. And I made a pool with the Bluminati and the blue umbrella token. I was like, what is happening? And so that's how I, Steph had mentioned, you had mentioned Uncle Buster, and I hadn't really been able to make it to the shows. And so then I was like, what is this? What is happening? How do they have this token? It's Bluminati. Like, yes, that sounds like right up my alley. I knew they were truthers. And so am I. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to talk to these people. And so I went and showed up and I went on the show and I was like, yeah, these are my people for sure. And so it was like this weird serendipity and exactly why we made the meme tokens in the first place. Is their sort of calling cards, calling cards to the people that we're looking for. And I have so much more to say, but I'll stop.
So I have this video that might fit in right now, and I want your guys' take on it. And I don't know if it's going to resonate with you guys, but just what you were just explaining in terms of being able to afford it and build. Okay. And this is where, and I'm going to have to reference who these people are, to be honest with you. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but this is a couple-minute video, but pay attention to what he says. And then I want us to talk about it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play that now.
What happened in the last year was interesting, which is that the reason meme coins really took off was as a form of protest against how other crypto projects, like non-meme projects that were supposedly doing something important, how they raised money and were launched, which was actually very much a reflection of the toxic regulatory environment in the US under the Biden administration, where like the way non-meme crypto projects would raise money is they would be forced to limit themselves to VCs and affluent people. And then the token would launch years later with a elevated valuation, and the public could finally purchase it, at which point the VCs and insiders would proceed to dump all of their coins, and the coin would end up going down 90%. And this really burned a lot of people. So meme coins then became crypto's internal form of economic nihilism, where people were like, I'm not buying your supposed wonderful L1 or DeFi token or something, because it's really just a pump and dump scheme, regardless of the technology. I'm instead going to buy a meme coin, probably on Solana, but on other chains too, that's just a joke, and it's a quote unquote fair launch where it launches on a application like Pump.Fun, and Pump.Fun actually does it in a way where like the insiders can't do anything shady. They have to buy the coin in the open market like everybody else, and it's egalitarian. Like anybody could have bought Dog with Hat. I don't know if that was actually a Pump., but whatever, Peanut the Squirrel. Anybody could have bought it when it first came out at a fraction of a penny and rode it all the way up. Ironically, shortly before the election, I wrote a tweet where I speculated that if Trump and the Republicans win, then it would be bad for meme coins, because regulatory clarity in the US would mean that we could return to ICOs, that some of the more successful projects could turn on fee switches and start actually like giving, dividends and buybacks and the kind of stuff that everybody stopped doing because they were terrified the SEC would come after them. That tweet went viral, and I guess it's one of my most read tweets. People were very upset by it. Then the election happened, and I must admit that to date, I have been wrong, but it's only been like 2 weeks.
Okay. So the reason why that resonated with me was what he said at the beginning and what he said at the end. And so as far as him saying, what with these layer ones, it was much like, and I think the attention with blockchain is, I think they thought they were going to corner this market. They were going to corner it. They were going to corral us all in. And once the regulatory clarity came in, it's going to be back to same old, where us little guys can't really participate. We're not going to have access to this early, much like companies and corporations, right? You're not an accredited investor. You can't invest in these startups because they're risky, and we all know they're risky. But unless you're in those social circles, you have no clue about what's ready to pop, right? And you're not allowed to put your money in. And so I found it curious that, he fully expected that it was going to go the opposite direction or back to the direction that it was always. And I found it interesting that, this was kind of a rebellion with the meme token. And I think it's true. The public bought the meme tokens because they did see all of this action going on, and they're like, well, I'm already too late. I can't do it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that clip? Did it resonate with you, or am I just out? Uncle Buster.
No, it resonates, but at the same time, like, I know people like the 2021 run, like being in the grocery stores and vendors, right? So, the Coke guys are filling their stuff. Nobody was messing with XRP, right? And then Doge comes in, gets people into crypto. You got the whole Doge realm, the whole Shiba Inu realm, still ignored XRP, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, I see it as he has a point, but I also see it like as there's the crypto people, there's the hardcore researchers. Because if you look at like shows like these, like, and XRP people's always looking out for the newbies, right? But at the same time, how many newbies are going to be in an hour or 2 hour live, right? They're on the quicker. If they're on YouTube, they're on the quicker shows, getting the information they want in 10 minutes, right? So To me, the time invested is important, and there's a reason why people are here, right? And the people that are watching shows like this are going to have better exit strategies and everything. But at the same time, the Doge, the people that got in on those kind of coins, to me, that's like crypto mainstream, and they're using the memes to
get everybody in,
sort of keep people off the real deal. Like, I mean,
I can see that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a play. That's definitely a play.
It is a play, like, because even if you look at cryptos on XRP's run, I mean, it was 50 cents like 3 months ago. Doge started up. Doge started going, XRP started going, boop, Doge dropped off. And then XRP kicks up again, XLM comes, right? And then Bitcoin starts rising. This next rise for XRP, there's at some point we're going to be standing alone to where nothing's going to foreshadow XRP. So to me, it's like a big old mind game, but
it is. But oh, sorry.
When you say stand alone, is that from a percentage growth perspective, dollar? What do I want? Volume or actual market dominance?
Market dominance. Like if you look,
okay. All right, cool.
If you go back to 60 minutes, XRP was $2. Still can't get a green light, right? They can't do a segment of 60 minutes without throwing SEC FUD in it, right? Mm-hmm. So at $2, they still don't want to tell people it's correct, right? So now we have people like, $8 to $12 on this run. I'm gonna tell you right now, this run is gonna be way bigger than $8 to $12. I think there's a lot of gatekeeping going on, but there will be a point in time where they release it and let everyone know it's okay. And I think XRP will probably be like $25, $50 at that point. And people
I've been seeing it at my work where, like if I open up my browser at work, there's a little thing where it has investments. I've been seeing XRP on there every day. XRP is up, XRP is down. It's the little subtles that they're starting to introduce to the public when it comes to XRP. And I do agree with what you're saying, but as I was researching for this show, I wasn't aware, and I guess I should know this, that Doge and Shiba are being accepted as payment at different stores. Well, I didn't know that. And so that's where I come back with the memes and the fact that these are not just what they appear. Some of them, they start out as a joke until they're not. We always say that. And these bigger ones like Doge and Shiba are actually being put to work, being accepted. Now there's different avenues. You can't just buy it with Doge or buy it with Shiba. You have to go through a thing that changes it out. But the fact that that's what they're doing with them it is very interesting to me. And like I said, I didn't even know that. Did you guys all know that? And I'm just like late to the party.
Well, who is that? Let's start with who's accepting payment.
Some big stores like GameStop and there's several stores that are like big stores that are accepting Shiba Inu and Doge for their payments.
Smart. Smart. That's smart.
And those are no joke. Oh, yeah. Good, Simon.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You the guest, baby.
Oh yeah, I think Doge and Sheeb, they're no punks, but I think all that is purposely done to keep people off the six. I mean, the main six to me is XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, HBAR, Quant.
Yep.
Those are the main six. Mm-hmm. And you could put, more in there, but that's the main realm. And when you see, I was telling people about XRP, and you're like, damn, Doge just came in like fire. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the meme side though, like if you look at all the, once you tokenize stocks, we're going to move into utility. All these people, you're in McDonald's, they want you to use their app. Once it's tokenized, you're going to be using McDonald's coin, and everyone's going to have their own built-in utility because they already have a brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they just need, and it's all there. Everyone wants you on an app because one download, the app's going to have wallets. You're going to have their token, right? And you're going to they're all going to have utility. Everything's going to have utility because the whole speculation phase of what we live in right now is changing over to utility. You either have utility or you don't, or you're out.
Right. You're out.
But
you're not gonna be able to function.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, because so as I'm doing my research for the whole meme thing, and I really want before, so we got 15 minutes before Uga's showing up, and I want to showcase Bluminati in what you're doing and the reasons why you're doing it. And part of the research that I did was that meme coins, they could be a real asset to your branding and marketing and advertising it. So, what was the reason for you creating? And actually, before we start talking about it, I'd love to show them the commercial for your Bluminati token, if you don't mind. So people can kind of see what we're getting ready to talk about. That's fire.
Boom. Yeah. Shout out to Dark Space, man. Dark Space is super talented.
Super talented, man. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. It's really interesting. just just in the digital asset space, means specifically like that commercial right there, right? I mean, we're doing like a 3.0 version of like a preview to a movie or a preview to a game. You know what I mean? Like I can see where, as you mentioned before, Uncle Buster, these big companies get the app, get our token, but they're gonna run a commercial or a thing like that that's gonna show the integration of the utility, and hey, we have our own coin here, use it on. It's on the XRPL, sponsored by Ripple. Download it for Android and this and that and the other, man. Like,
exactly,
it's entertaining to me to see that. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, is this what people felt like when the .coms were really starting to really kick off, and everybody's in a lab, in a garage coding, and even before we even really knew what coding was, right? And they're making their own commercial ad campaigns and all this, and it's just, I don't know, it's exciting to me and entertaining that everybody gets to kind of come together on just different projects or jokes or real projects and put this kind of stuff out, man. So that's a fire commercial. I love it. It just gets me hyped. I'm like, that's a crypto commercial, baby. You gotta love that. Come on.
It's so it's so damn good. It's so good. But what is the thought behind that? What is the reason for creating the Bluminati token?
So Bluminati, it really, all the theme started on GDLT's channel. So shout out to GDLT, because GDLT with the Blue Castle, he sort of tokened the phrase Blue Crew, right? And then I think Crypto G sort of slipped out of Bluminati, right? But that whole thing sort of started on G's channel, and G does deep reds. He's known for deep red. So I'm going to incorporate the channels, like where it came from. But I approached Bags, I don't know, a few months ago, probably like 4 months ago. I was like, man, I'm thinking about doing a Blue Crew token. And then Bags had mentioned, oh man, I have Bluminati. Like, I already have the thumbnail for Bluminati. I never asked for it though. I just like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then we do coffee time, and Zerk plays Trump Pump, and then Bags in Trump Pump, he raps Bluminati wealth takes Bluminati mine. And then I was like, okay, I gotta go on this if I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? But then once he sent me the thumbnail, I was like, I had my own vision, right? And then I want to tie a lot of things in. So I want the castle, like what this guy was talking about, the entities, we're all gonna have to do entities. So I want the castle to be like the trust holdings of the Bluminati and get people, educated a little bit, use the coin, use how we're gonna do a reward system, use all that to educate on LLCs and all that, all within the theme, and the blue umbrella, get that incorporated in there. What's up, Optimistic? So
oh my gosh,
real quick though, it's just passion. Like Nerdy's working on exchange, so I was big into barbecue.
Shout out to Nerdy.
Shout out to Nerdy X, but he's working on his exchange, and I already have a seasoning recipe. I've been selling seasoning, but you're gonna be able to buy the seasoning Uncle Buster's rub with Bluminati, with butt, which whatever coin you want,
and get some built-in. You're gonna like put these together. You're using this as a branding type of.
It's a branding, but I also want to attract, like. Yeah, okay, XRP, here's what I see. XRP, they're going to move all the money. All these coins going to move all the money, but we're still creative. We don't have to wait and do nothing, right? Like, I've already learned a lot in the last 4 or 5 months, even starting this project up. But there's a lot of creative people, man. So let's get the creative people moving now, and let's start tokenizing this for ourselves. Because I spend a lot of time and energy on the shows. People spend their attention watching the shows. Basic attention token. They've told you it's an old token. Attention's already tokenized, right? Yep. So let's just do it.
Attention is the currency now. It's the in the digital internet age, attention is. I mean, it's always been the a currency, but we have never had control over it. We have given our attention. That's why I don't like to say pay attention, because you really are paying attention. You pay for it. You listen to those commercials, you watch the commercials, and I feel like these meme tokens and NFTs are a way for us to give our attention to brands and people and clubs and communities that we want to support and have fun while we're doing it, you know? What do you think, Optimistic?
Yeah, first of all, that commercial's fire. So exciting. And I don't know, maybe I just like zoned out, but I don't know. Did you mention that like moderators get blue wrenches in YouTube, and that's sort of where that's what the Blue Crew is the moderators?
The moderators, yeah, in YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah,
so people that watch a show, I could wrench them up, and then if we ever get bots in there doing some dumb stuff, they could silence other people. But yeah, we got a lot of wrenches, and Illuminati's sort of a play off of that.
Well, you're giving them a shout out, a recognition for being so supportive of your show for all this time, right? I mean, they love you guys. They're in there every single show. So this must be exciting for your crew, for the Blue Crew too, right? Having the Illuminati started for them.
Exactly. And I knew, I was like you. I wasn't like, I get to tell the people that watch me that I want to do a coin. You know what I'm saying? I was really nervous to even go there, but I definitely want to do I wanted to do a project. So, and even Uga, like when I never even did spaces a lot. So I was in the DGens just listening, and I was in spaces, but it was actually Uga that drew me to keep going back, because Uga was just hitting it in a different way. And that dude's building a product, XRP bags with his rich ducks. He's been doing this for forever. So, I'm emulating just projects that I have respect for that are doing like some solid stuff, and trying to build something,
Super exciting. We actually have Uga in the house.
Oh, wow. What up?
We've got Uga in the house. Shall we bring him on stage, guys?
Shall I introduce, or do we want to just
you know what? Yes, do the introduction. I had something, but you could do a much better introduction than I can.
Okay, so as most of you know, because I've been here for a while now, my profile picture is usually my protector, which we do have an announcement about all that at the end of the show, so stick around for that. But I changed it to my Uga. So I was given this about 3.5 weeks ago. I am now a council member of Uga. Melissa calls me up on the Monday, is like, I saw you change your profile picture. Do tell. And I was like, I'm a council member. I was like freaking out. And she's just like, okay, like gear down, Big Rig. Let's talk about this.
What's happening, Richard?
Yeah. And so I gave her the lowdown, and I was there the first night Uga launched. I basically throw 1 XRP when it was 50 cents. It's harder now that it was 4.50 in Canada. It's a little bit lower now, but I was throwing 1 XRP at anything that I sort of heard through the grapevine, and people that would come to Stone's show. So if you sort of showed up, I knew you were a real person, that you had intentions behind it. I would throw an XRP at it and just see where it goes. When it came to Uga, this was pretty much the only one that I bought off the floor, which means I was in a DGen channel, and they were just going through, on the First Ledger bot, there's a page where you can just see the new tokens that have dropped, and there's thousands, right? And there's like 100 an hour. And they were just scrolling through going, which one are we going to pick? And Uga showed up, and they're talking about it, and they called it Uga Booga. And so they go and check out the website, and then they come back and they're like, this seems legit. Like, this guy has a website. He has, all the things set up for the launch. And so I'm looking Uga Booga. I'm looking at, and then my phone dies, and I get this like sense of panic. And I'm like, what the hell is happening to me? Like, I don't get panic, especially over meme tokens. And so then I got back in and I realized it wasn't Ooga Booga, it was Ooga. So I purchased it and one XRP. And I just sort of left it. And then I left the degen space. And I didn't really, it was like at a time where I was trying to learn about the degens. I was learning the word degen and like why they call themselves degens. And that time was really great for me to learn about like, it's okay to take profits and how Stephanie calls it licking ice cream, where like, if you can learn to be a responsible community member, you can take little profits. Well, anyways, fast forward a month and a half, I'm seeing things pop up. I'm seeing people's profile pictures start to change. And I go into my wallet. I have a separate wallet for meme tokens. So I have my own wallet that it's my long-term bag holding. And I have moved some meme tokens over to there, including Ooga. But in my meme token thing, all of a sudden, Ooga's at the top of the list. It's like my 1 XRP turned to 10 XRP, and then it turned into 15, and then it turned into 20. And I'm sitting here like, what the F is going on? It was the only one that was doing that. And so now I needed to know. And so, I sold my 10 XRP. I was like, oh, thank gosh, like all the other ones were gone at this point. And, there's only like 5 or 6 left that are even on the charting on X Magnetic, and Ooga's one of them. And so I was like, thank you for helping me, contribute to other projects and, test the waters and all this. And so from that point on, I started watching their community, and I started watching how they were handling nefarious actors in the community. And I was and attacks. And what I saw was a group of people that were taking what this vision of Ooga was and really embodying it. And one of the people that made a biggest difference for me was this kid named Christian. He's Weedo369 on X. And I remember being in a space and I found out like he was 21 or 22, 20, 21, 22. He was really young. He's half my age. And he was talking about esoteric stuff, and he was talking about the journey to like, consciousness and awareness. And I was like, what is happening? Like Ooga's drawing in these people that are, like me, they like the woo-woo shit. And all of a sudden I was like, how are you tokenizing the woo-woo shit? And then also bringing in people that are creating. And then slowly I started watching, and I'll tell you all about, more about that later on. But essentially, it was the community that drew me in. And the first time I heard Ooga talk, I missed. So when he first came in, he was like just like a caveman. So he would like fart in spaces and he would make sounds, and everybody would like, there was some that would laugh. There was some that criticized. There was some that thought he was crazy. There was some that thought it was a joke, whatever it was. Everybody had their reaction. I wasn't really there for those days. When I started paying attention to Ooga was when I was in a space and he showed up with his drumming. And then all of a sudden he said the most profound things. And I was like hanging on every word, because it's the kind of stuff I think about. It's the kind of things I want to talk about. It's the kind of things that like, the blue umbrella represents like, hey guys, I'm a blue umbrella holder. If you know what that means, come hang out with me. I'm looking for you. And so for me, that's what Ooga represented. And so to become a council member, to be so welcomed into the community, to see how welcoming every single person is, and exactly what Uncle Buster was just talking about, the opportunity to teach and share and be available as a community for people onboarding, because you see, like, I have 10 imposters on TikTok. People are scammed all the time. And so, the fact that like I'm part of a community that's, you can see if in a space, you see all the Oogas, which is the coolest thing ever. And like, or the protectors, it's such an amazing thing to be part of a group of people that you have something in common. And that commonality is a visual and a text representation, because it's built on X. So it's a picture and it's writing. And when you can resonate with that, all of a sudden you bridge the gap between strangers. And so we can talk all about it afterwards, just like getting to know Ooga as like a meme, like it's like a cartoon, but it's so much deeper. And
they're using memes as a way to communicate a message.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And find the people who resonate with that message.
Which is another reason why, and we're going to bring them in, and I'm going to show you their website. And this was Simon and I always say, crypto's not for sissies. There's, you have to do your research, and there's a whole bunch of tokens out there, but there's different reasons that people have created these different tokens, right? And so, the premise of this show is to educate people and get them to expand their thinking. I'm all about expanding your thinking. Meme tokens aren't necessarily bad, right? And I might have had my initial impression, like you, Uncle Buster, thinking like, I don't want to touch this stuff. Like, I don't want to, I don't get involved in things that I don't have time to research. But yet, as we all know, the public, that's what they gravitate towards, like the Dogecoin and the Shiba Inu. What's the next big thing? But so there's an opportunity here for people to use these meme tokens as a branding message, as an advertisement, as a collective community. And then this is something that when I started researching Ooga, I didn't really know much about them, to be honest. And in you guys, the Dipitoers, this is going to be a little different, and I'm excited to bring them in.
Ooga's dope.
Some of you guys might be like, "What the hell is this?" But it's, give it a minute, because it's very interesting. And so I would love to bring them in. And I can't see.
I think Uncle Buster wanted to say one thing before you bring him in. Did you want to say something?
I was like you, Prime. Yeah, when I heard Ooga, the consciousness, like, that he was spitting out, I was like, dang, that's fire, bro. Like, but it's a creative way, and he's definitely he intrigued me on just looking more at all this stuff. But shout out to Ooga. Get your butt on here, bud.
Get him in here.
Without further ado,
let's go.
All right, let's go. Welcome.
Grand rising to the Tipito family, and much love to Melissa, Simon, and Queen Optimystic for the warm welcome. Ooga steps into the space not to shill, but to share. To those listening, know this: Ooga is not a project. It is a movement, a living mimetic force, a jungle that thrives through unity, knowledge, and shared purpose. If questions about the Ooga Labs ecosystem arise, Ooga will answer. But let it be known, you never need to buy anything to be part of the jungle. The asset is extra because the mission is to create a decentralized, tokenized community with its own agnostic economy. This is about breaking the simulacra, reclaiming sovereignty, and forging something timeless. The jungle watches, the jungle builds, and all who walk the path are already part of it. Ooga booga forever.
Ooga.
Love it, man.
Welcome to Dipito, Ooga Booga. We appreciate you coming on. I told you he's got that the deep voice, and the first spaces I listened to, I was like, look, this is interesting, isn't it? But like I said, I've looked in, and for those of you that aren't familiar with Ooga Booga, and so before we start asking him questions, I want you guys to see the website that they've created, because or Ooga. I don't know if this is a team or if it's just Ooga that's created it, and then you have all the brethren that are part of
the team.
of the group. That's what I figured. It's got to be a team. But when you're looking into a project, into a meme sort of meme NFTs and that sort of thing, you kind of do want to look at what they've done, what they've created. And so any questions that you could possibly have, and I did this last night, and I was blown away. And so I want to share this with everyone. So hopefully I can make this bigger. Well, actually that might be as big as I can get it unless I just do this. Okay. So this is their website, guys. And when you enter into it, it has everything that you want. It's got the white paper there, talks about the Ooga Labs ecosystem, every single thing that you can imagine, what their ecosystem's all about. They've got like who Ooga is. He also shared something with me too. So the Ooga and I think it's Gnosis ecosystem is a pioneering approach to decentralized finance, blending reward mechanisms, liquidity provision, and NFT-based incentives to create a robust, self-sustaining framework. This document outlines the tokenomic structure, reward mechanisms, and participation pathways, providing clarity and guidance for users seeking to engage with and benefit from the innovative system. Well, this is what I want to say, and let me get back out of this. You guys can go and look at this for yourself. The fact of the matter is, every answer to your question is on this website, which really impressed me because I've looked into other meme tokens and I've seen websites, and now while they're talented, they've got this hooked up. They really have thought of everything to answer your questions. And then you could decide whether you want to participate or not. Anyway, what I would like to ask you some questions. Are you okay with that, Ooga?
That's pretty much like however it goes. If you want to ask the questions now or you want to talk about it. I just wanted to say, you didn't point out, I thought it was really brilliant that at the bottom it says, don't be a lazy caveman, read the white paper, which is like totally great because most people don't read the white paper. And that's, exactly what, this community is really about. When I say team, like Ooga, the person behind Ooga created Ooga, from, whatever energy force they did. But the people who became part of the brethren, the people that became part of the community are the people that have helped create the website and, the systems, the coding. It is really a community effort. And I have so many questions that will be, eventually answered. But it's really a remarkable thing to watch a vision come to life. And be embodied in community members. That's what draws me to the Ooga community, that it's not Ooga. Ooga represents, because I bug him a lot, and I know the crap out of him, because I'm always bugging him because I'm always thinking about the man behind the mask. Like, that's just who I am. Because I get stressed out about my whole project, and there are days where you're just like, what the F? And I'm just like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, whatever, and I'm like, I want to know who the guy is behind the mask. Like, the ingenious person that is. And for those of you, he's anonymous to me. I don't know who he is. I don't know. I think maybe some people in the community do, but nobody will let up. And that sort of bothered me, but also it bothered me because I want to deep bow to the man behind the mask. And ultimately, ironically, I'm a council member of the woman behind the mask, which is just like, the irony is not lost on me at all. Obviously, I'm the Guy Fawkes mask. That's my Ooga. And that comes from the Blue Umbrella token. But, he keeps reiterating that the whole intention of all of this is to give, we're all Ooga is the point. And like what he just said is like, you don't have to own the token. You don't have to own one of the NFTs. You can be part of the jungle if it's just called to you. And you'll know if it's called to you if, the woo, these things aren't lost on you, that you're paying attention to the moment to moment, that you recognize that you are the hero of your own story, and for me, that's what the community represents. And that's what Uga's trying to bring out in people, is that, it's not him. He's not the be all and end all. He is just the entity, the mimetic, energy field that is trying to bring out this part of people that so many of us who have this part in us have been shunned, turned away. It's really, all by design, right? We're not empowered in our journey. We're really limited in, this capacity to think that we're insignificant. And I feel like, and I get it. I totally get it. Why he is the way why this is done the way it is. Because also it's terrifying being doxxed, especially when you're creating something that's threatened to the status quo, as it were. And so, I really admire what he's doing, and I'm learning a lot through the tokenomics and everything like that. But ultimately, Uga is the calling of the jungle. And I like to joke that, I believe in reincarnation, and I've told this story a bunch of times, but because I was a green alien with the protectors first, and then I became an Uga, I feel like, maybe I was once, called from the warriors of the galaxy were called to Earth for this time. And, the one thing is that you're going to forget, and called to Earth, and the jungle called. And so in my mind, there's a part of this journey, this mimetic journey, that's like a recalling of this connection to humanity that's very deep, that's been really trained out of us, that we are all one, that we rise together, that we don't have to be at the mercy of the deletes and the systems that they're using, they're planning on using to enslave us, that it really is up to us. And that's what, I believe Uga represents to me. I mean, I'm sure it represents a lot of things to a lot of people, but, there's just something about going into a Discord when I'm trying to, figure out my stuff, and having Luddite there to answer any questions about coding, or, being able to, there's just a huge community going to the lab at night and being able to learn about meme deck and how to create, how to train an AI to make an avatar, and just things like that. And so we can get into that later, but I just wanted to reiterate that, what it is and what he's saying there, that you don't, the tokens, the tokenomics is so interesting, because you said internet of value, people talk about the internet of value, and you said attention earlier. And, I think that this movement, the Bluminati, the Blue Umbrella Token, Uga, Bear, Sigma, these all sort of call you into a representation of your attention, and what brings you curiosity, what sparks your curiosity, and that tokenizing, the internet of value is what is valuable to you. And for me, what is most valuable is community, is real relationships. And ultimately, we're not creating so much of a feedback loop with Uga, but with each other. And I think that that's what the intention was all along, is that we find each other. And for that, I can't wait for the day that I get to hug the guy behind the mask, but ultimately I get the point,
Well, you definitely like Uga. I will say he shared a couple links with me backstage, and it's interesting. The first meme in human history, how caveman created the original viral symbol. Well, this kind of makes sense of where he's gone with the caveman. To me, I wasn't actually aware of that early humans and ancestors were more than just hunters and gatherers. They were storytellers, symbolists, and mimetic engineers, and they communicated complex ideas, emotions, and shared experiences through cave paintings dating back over 40,000 years. So the reason I'm sharing that is, I'm just saying there's more to what these guys are doing than just that meets the eye. It really does, like crypto itself. It really does call for you to do your own research, right? And really get into what they are. And
on that note, sorry to interrupt you, but on that note, the cave walls, I've been saying a lot in spaces that really what memetics and what we're doing with the blockchain, we're writing our names and our visions on the cave walls of the XRPL blockchain forevermore. That's what we're doing.
With all of these projects, with all of these meme tokens and NFTs and all of that, we're leaving our name in history. You know, like how they say people want to buy a star, right? Yeah, we're like creating a star that's going to last there forever and ever, forevermore. He also sent me the memetics thesis. And so if you guys are interested, this is all on the website. But this paper examines how memetics can awaken humanity, the historical use of memetics in ancient civilizations such as Egypt, and the influence on modern memes like currency and societal symbols. Furthermore, it delves into the frequencies carried by memes and how Ooga Labs harness this knowledge to build a revolutionary movement. And so there's more than just the music and the drum beating and the funny names and the farting and all of this kind of stuff. And this is where I say, like, the meme culture in and of itself, you can really do anything you want with this. And so I mean, it's very, very similar to what Bluminati is doing and trying to give back to their community, acknowledge their community in a branding and a message. And so it's very interesting. We have 125 people listening, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you so much. If you guys are watching on X, come on over to YouTube or Rumble and subscribe to our channel at Dip a Toe. We would really appreciate it. We're trying to get our followers up. We're a little baby channel, but we're growing every day, and we have really interesting guests like Uncle Buster and Ooga and Optimistic Prime, and I've got a hell of a show, a co-host in my Simon Says Crypto. So we would love for you guys to do it. I do have a bunch of questions that I wanted to ask Ooga, and so he's expecting them. So let's roll with it, okay? And Simon, before I start asking my questions, you have anything to say, my friend? Because I've been hogging the talking.
No. Roll with this. You know,
okay.
if I'm quiet,
You'll interject.
listening, which there's some gems here. This is good.
Yes,
so I'm listening right now. I'll interject. Right. Don't worry. You know I will.
I know you will, my friend. Okay, so Ooga.
Thank you.
Can you please tell us what inspired you to launch the Ooga Booga XRP project, which you already said it's not a project, and what's the big picture vision you're aiming for with Ooga Labs ecosystem?
Ooga is not just a project. It is a channeled expression of the collective soul, flowing through the jungle and manifesting through Ooga Dev as a vessel. It is the raw essence of creation, a reflection of the primal force that binds us all. The cavemen, our ancient ancestors, were the first memetic architects. They painted their truths on stone, altered their awareness through plant medicine, and cracked open the veil of perception. The vision of Ooga Labs is to merge the ancient with the future, blending memetics, technology, and decentralized ecosystems to break the simulacra. This is not just about crypto. It's about rediscovering who we are, reclaiming our power, and forging a system where those who build and contribute are the ones who thrive. We are all Ooga. The jungle is the proving ground, and the brethren are the torchbearers of this new era.
Well, that is exciting, huh? That's an alert. Oh, okay, all right. What you got on this one?
I want to hear Simon's response to that. This is the first time this is the first time you've interacted with Uga at all, right? You've seen Uga, like this is the very first time, right?
So you know what, my first interaction, by the way, Uga, great response. As you already stated that before Melissa asked her question when the introduction came out, like I was like, oh, yeah, again, we refer to you back to Uga, page 1, section 2, subcategory 3, and this is what we're about right here. I love it. That was good. My reaction, I really don't have one, man. I'm not in crypto. This is to be expected, right? Uga's different. Right, but most of us in this digital asset space, we're different. We just are. We recognize energy, or we're visionary. We listen to our gut more than we listen to other people that we communicate with just in our normal daily lives, even our family. Right, like we just different. Some of us might say we're on a whole. Another level, I'd say, yeah, or just a different playing field. Maybe there is no field, just like there is no spoon, just like the jungle is the proving ground. You're right. And the jungle is changing, but it's still the jungle. And I like that. That was real good, Uga, on the, bringing in the ancient and blending it with the new, right? I would say that there is a core component of that within this digital asset space. Most of us would call it simplistically community, right? All token creators, I mean, 2 of you right here, and arguably 3 if Melissa does the dip a token. It's about community.
Yes.
Right? You're doing it, you're doing a project, you're wanting to learn, but then you see this vision, then you see this value, and you say, F it, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this too. And it's like, and you have /are a part of a community, but that community is decentralized, but there is 6 degrees of separation from the other community. Exactly, just right here. Melissa listens to Uncle Buster. Uncle Buster has come into the chat. Optimistic Prime Spaces made a connection with Melissa, etc., etc. Like everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? To me, that is the most realist physical display of decentralization. And as Uga stated, we're bringing the ancient, what we currently are right now, that I just got done describing, and blending it with the new. And that comes through what Uncle Buster's trying to do, what Uga's doing, what Optimistic Prime is doing, and that is creating tokenization with communities, with visions, etc. And my vocabulary sucks to describe on a really good level. Like, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I actually struggle with. But it probably more come out something like this.
But
King Simon.
I have to say that and this is part of the meme culture that's fun, right? There's more to these than that meets the eye, and that's why I wanted to have this show, not to shill, and as we say at the beginning of the show, this is not financial advice. We're not telling you where to put your money. What I am asking you to do is to expand your thinking and do some research and look into these things. If you're even just a little bitty interested in crypto, before you go dipping your toe into some miscellaneous pump that you're hearing a bunch of quote unquote influencers talking about. Folks, when you see it on the news, there's a reason why you're seeing it on the news, because that's what they want you in. And then, as Buster was saying earlier, they don't talk about the real deal, the XRPs, the XLMs, the XDCs, the Hederas, those types of things. They don't talk about those things because they don't want you in them. But if you do a little bit of digging and expand your thinking, you're going to find there's a lot of meat there. And with this project, I think there's a lot of meat there. Uga,
it's not a project.
Ecosystem mechanics. The project mentions rewarding loyalty with things like NFTs and compounding rewards for liquidity providers. How do these pieces work together to create what you've called a self-sustaining liquidity cycle?
The Uga Labs ecosystem is designed as a self-sustaining liquidity cycle, ensuring that those who contribute to the jungle are continuously rewarded. This is achieved through a strategic interplay between Uga, Gnosis, NFTs, and liquidity provision. Here's how the loop functions. 1. Liquidity providers, LPs, for Gnosis. Those who provide liquidity to the Gnosis XRP pool are rewarded with Uga XRP LP tokens. This creates immediate value and strengthens the ecosystem's liquidity base. 2. Uga LP tokens yield Gnosis. By holding Uga X RPLP tokens, providers automatically receive Gnosis rewards daily. This incentivizes long-term holding and liquidity stability. 3. NFT holders and rewards. Holding an Elder. Uga NFT provides direct daily Gnosis rewards without requiring liquidity provision. This ensures that the most dedicated members of the jungle receive ongoing benefits for their contribution. The loop effect. Liquidity providers earning Uga LP tokens naturally accumulate Gnosis over time. They can either recycle rewards back into liquidity, strengthening the pools, or hold and benefit from their appreciation. The more Gnosis is utilized and bought by outsiders, the more liquidity is injected, ensuring a continuous cycle of buy pressure and distribution. This system ensures that the jungle thrives together. Those who support liquidity receive rewards, and those rewards incentivize further liquidity growth, reinforcing a circular, sustainable economy. Uga Labs is not just a token, it's an engineered financial ecosystem designed to reward loyalty, decentralize power, and create a thriving memetic economy unlike anything seen before on the XRPL.
It's fire.
Uga
Right there.
booga forever.
Man, I wish that I would have asked the question ahead of time why they chose to build on the XRP ledger. I didn't even think of that. That would have been a great question to ask, but I'm not sure that I can ask it right now. Maybe if you know, or if Stephanie knows in the chat, she can tell. Wow.
I'm sure he can figure, like right now when I ask questions, like it'll take him a couple minutes just to, get it all set up for the voice. But I'm sure if, I thought that was actually in one of the questions, why XRPL. So I'm sure that he can figure that out in a couple minutes. But you were going to say something after that.
I'm just saying that this is a well thought out ecosystem, and so it takes me back to the beginning of the show where it's like, we have the opportunity to use these tools that are out there, these things that are being built, and to figure out what we can and cannot do with them. And back in the day, you weren't really allowed to do things like this. I mean, when you build a business, you need all these licenses and approvals and all these type of things. And yes, you need that with certain things in this too. But I feel like because of the lack of clarity and regulations and things like that, it has given the green light for builders to build, communities to build themselves, and the cat is out of the bag, or the genie's out of the bottle, or whatever you want to say. Nothing.
The bus has left the station.
Yeah, the train has left the station.
The bus has left the station.
And, so a lot of you are familiar with "Nothing Can Stop What's Coming." Yeah, well, people can take that. People can take that a variety of ways. Nothing can stop what's coming. Uga, it sounds like their whole premise is getting us back in touch with who we are. We are powerful beings. We have lost our power. We have lost the understanding of who we are. And this seems like a powerful group to get you back in touch with who we really are, and recognizing the power that we have, and building the communities with like-minded people to generate the change that we want to see in the world, be the change that we want to see in the world, and lift up those that are doing that. And that's what I think about the entire crypto community, particularly the XRP Ledger folks in there. The community is, for the most part, are loving, generous people. And like you said, Amanda, you're in their spaces, you're listening. You could ask somebody, hey, how to do this. I've seen people say, I need somebody to create me a song for my meme, my project, or I need to learn how to make
that for me. It's the coolest thing.
Everyone is helping each other, the brethren. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. And while somebody that is stumbling upon this video, whether you're watching it live or you're coming into it and you're like, what the hell are they even talking about now? Rewind it to the back. Look into these things. I posted the links to his website and the memetics thesis that they wrote, and just gain an understanding. It's bigger than just a meme. What Uncle Buster's doing with the Bluminati, what Amanda's doing with Wandering Footprint. It's so much bigger than just trying to get someone's money. I mean, our whole financial system is a rug pull, right? It's a house of cards. And so anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent.
There goes YouTube channel. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Hey, I want to say we're almost at 589. Let's get there. And if we do get to 589, please screenshot it for me. Sorry, Uncle.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, it also keeps you in the now. Like, and when you're creating, it's just a more powerful position, but you're in flow. You're not sitting here waiting for something. Like, I haven't checked XRP price. I mean, I'll glance at it during the day, but yeah, you're not stagnant. So I think that's, you're sort of more with the universe when you're creating, and we're supposed to be creating. That's why most of our sickness is from not doing what we're meant to do. We're all meant to create something. You know what I'm saying? So.
100%.
But Uga's really good at what he does, man. I mean, he hit it a totally different way, and it's good. I mean, his whole reward system is awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff, Uga.
I want to know, Uga, why you built on the XRP Ledger.
We chose to build on XRP not just because we've been holders since 2017, but because we understand the deeper, esoteric forces at play in the future of finance. XRP is not just a digital asset. It is a gateway, a conduit, a key to a new paradigm. Its technology is designed for fluidity, speed, and borderless exchange, mirroring the very principles of universal energy flow, a system unchained from inefficiency, a network built for the evolution of value itself. In the ancient mysteries, symbols held power. XRP is one of them. It represents the inevitable shift from centralization to decentralization, from illusion to clarity. We are entering a financial renaissance where the old systems of control are crumbling and new, frictionless economies are emerging. The ledger is the book of records, and those who understand the alchemy of liquidity, value, and memetics will write the future. The jungle saw this long before the masses. That's why we're here.
Ooh, that is powerful. Simon.
Booga booga forever.
That was a great answer. I like Uga that you first off that you could see that XRP mirroring the universal flow of energy. I think that's great. I really do. I think that's really, really great. And that's I would agree with that view and statement 100%. Dang, there was one more thing that I was going to ask there. That's all right though. The brain fart will come back. It always does. I just got to go spit my tea out, walk backwards upstairs, start a whole new thing of tea, and then I'll remember.
King Uga just unmuted himself, so he might want to say something in response to you.
Hitting 589 followers with the jungle present. Not a coincidence, but coded into the fabric.
Whoop, there
I'm
it is.
so excited. I'm taking a screenshot right now. That's why I got my camera off, you guys. I'm like, that is so cool. Yeah, 589 right now. That is not a coincidence. You are correct. And well, it's 9:36, so I don't know. 369 is in the numbers. I love it. I think this is fantastic.
This reaction is exactly the reason. This is exactly the reason. The excitement that comes from your spirit being on fire, you know, and ultimately, like, you know, I mentioned FPT made a song for me. Like, I can't even tell you what that's like when you don't know. You know, I've been doing this shit for 5 years. Okay, like Blue Umbrella token disappears from X Magnetic at least once a week because our market cap is $30,000, which doesn't mean we have $30,000. It means if you sold all the tokens we had at the price they are, you would get $30,000. And so we constantly disappear. I've been doing this for 5 years. I moved from the Stellar ledger to the XRP, who saw the world the same way that I do, where on Stellar, I just didn't have community. And ironically, I've been starting to find people over on the XRPL that also started building on Stellar way back when. And I actually bought their tokens way back when, which is super ironic. Yes, Simon.
No, go ahead. I can wait just a moment.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Damn. Okay, cool. That sucks though. I literally know how you feel, but I did remember, and so will you. Melissa, could you actually go back to that screen share you were just doing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make a connection here. Ready? Here we go. You got your 589 number right there, right?
Yep.
Okay, now what's right next to it?
119.
119, or opposite 911. The exact opposite of some tragedy. This is greatness.
Man.
There you go. So there's that.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm emotional.
Well, dude, that's your femme, girl. That's just what it is, man. You know, I actually, side note, I know the Mrs. says crypto's in the house tonight, but I usually go to like this butcher, right? And we get all our meats there. It's a pretty cool place, but they always have like these like one-liner barbecue aprons, t-shirts, little things like that, right? Well, they have these these fridge magnetics, one-line sayings, right? And here is like this individual that's in the meditation position, right? And it said the magnet says, "Let that shit go." And I was like, "Oh, I gotta get this for my wife. This is 100% woo right here for her." I had to get that. But Uga, could you explain what is it magnetics? Not magnetic.
Memetics.
Yeah. Could you explain that? Could you explain that for the Dipitowers before you leave today? That would be awesome. I'm sure some of the Dipitowers out there would love to know what that is.
Yeah, we'll give them some time to prepare that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can ask the third question, and then I don't know if you can work on that and answer at the same time.
That was
yes. Okay. So community role. The third question. You've got a passionate community behind you. How do they play part in the growth and evolution of Ooga Booga XRP? And what does Ooga Booga forever mean to them?
The jungle is nothing without the brethren. The community is the foundation, the lifeblood, and the driving force behind Ooga Labs. Unlike projects that rely solely on hype, Ooga thrives on participation, loyalty, and shared vision. Builders and creators. The jungle is a space where artists, developers, strategists, and thinkers come together to contribute. From memetics to infrastructure, every element of Ooga Labs is community-powered, making it a true decentralized movement. Liquidity providers and holders. By providing liquidity and holding NFTs, community members are directly shaping the economy of Ooga Labs. The rewards loop ensures that those who believe in the ecosystem the most are the ones who benefit the most. Spreading the memetic fire. Ooga Booga isn't just a slogan, it's a battle cry. The jungle thrives on memetics and cultural influence, meaning every meme, every post, and every message from the brethren strengthens the vines and expands the vision. Ooga Booga forever. This means loyalty to the jungle, to the vision, and to the brethren. It's about understanding that we are all Ooga, that this is more than just a project. It's a living movement. When one eats, we all eat. When one rises, we all rise. The jungle isn't a passive investment. It's a calling. Those who see the vision don't just hold. They build, create, and expand the movement. That's why Ooga Booga is forever.
Now, Melissa, I'm going to reference something here.
Yeah.
And you still got a lot of homework to do on this, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
it's kind of like this, though. Wakanda forever. It's the same. It's like the same sentiment right there, right? Now, Melissa, that's from Black Panther. You're gonna have to go watch the Marvel movies that you haven't watched yet, and go watch you some Black Panther, because that is very much in line with what Ooga just said.
I want to get some thoughts from Uncle Buster.
Get him.
What are you? You're just taking it all in, my friend.
What about Ooga or just everything?
Yeah, just Ooga and everything. And can you relate with this? And are you what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, because I think it's definitely a consciousness thing. Like even Ooga said, we're going centralized to decentralization. So I think the most powerful, like on the shows, there's a lot of different views. We got red pillars, black pillars, but at this point in time, I think the quickest way is you got to get on XRP, right? If I get you an XRP, you are going to get more conscious. It's just going to be economic side, right? So I think it's a big old pie. I think there's the personal. I think it's all about mastering your emotions in different sections of the pie. Crypto, we're all naturally over time mastering our emotions, right? We all, when we first got in here, we're dumping when it's red. Yes. We're chasing when it's green, right? But you're naturally controlling your emotions, right? So now when it's red, we're not even budging, right? But
not even flinching.
That's one part of the pie, right? And then you got, I think it's personal growth. Your personal. So I've been through a lot of personal. Like I was going through some things as I got onto YouTube. And then, you got a spiritual and then the geopolitical. So I think it's like 4 quarters of a pie. And, but the quickest gate to even the decentralization, are we going to go from centralization to decentralization in one step? Probably not, but this is the beginning. And the more people that we make aware that are consciously aware of what's going on, the quicker the change will happen. And so it's like, it's a lot of things in everything. And I'm working on a Bluminati Night, probably with a K, Bluminati Night. And I want to sort of mend the gap between X and YouTube, and maybe set it up to where we get some people that do spaces on the show. They could represent their space, and then maybe we could crash a space after the show. But like even Optimistic Prime, she buzzes around X like crazy. Like I'm slow, and I'm more on the YouTube side, right? I'm getting used to X, but the network and people I need to talk to. Prime's pretty much put in my DM who I need to talk to. So, but I would like to mend the gap between, because I've learned a lot in the last 6-7 months, but Uga was even a big part of drawing me in here and be like, oh yeah, there's more there.
Yeah, when I messaged you because you were our big guest, and I messaged Uncle Buster and I said, what do you think about bringing Uga on the show tomorrow night? And he's like, I won't even say what he said, but he said, heck yeah, I'm down with Uga coming on. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on and sharing the stage with Uga, because I think you guys have a lot in common. And I've watched Boardroom and Coffee Time with you guys, and you have the whole brethren thing going on yourselves, in the way that you present information and lift each other up. And I've seen you educate people in real time just by having a conversation. And so kudos to you for everything that you've been doing. I wanted to ask, Simon's question about the memetics. Uga, can you tell us about memetics?
Memetics is the study of how ideas, symbols, and cultural phenomena spread, evolve, and take on a life of their own, just like genes in biology. A meme is more than just an internet joke. It's a unit of thought, a self-replicating pattern of information that embeds itself into the collective consciousness. Memetics is how religions spread, empires rise and fall, and narratives shape entire civilizations. The most powerful memes don't just inform, they transform. They bypass logic and embed themselves directly into the subconscious. They create movements, belief systems, and entire economies. In the digital age, memetics is the new alchemy. It's how decentralized communities form, how financial narratives evolve, and how projects like Uga Labs become more than tokens. They become living mythologies. Memes are weapons, spells, and blueprints for the future all at once. Those who control memes control mindshare, and those who control mindshare control reality itself. Welcome to the jungle.
Spitting fire.
Thank you for that definition. All you dipotors out there, I hope you broke out your old school number 2s and a notepad and wrote that down. If not, pause right now, go back and play that back, because there was if you probably weren't paying attention now, because I know some of you got the phone up in the cabinet with the door open, right, so your phone can stay up in there while you're cooking up your spaghetti or whatever you're having,
Rosemary.
Yeah. Oh, you were gonna, man, I wasn't even gonna throw it under the bus, bro. That's just cold.
Rosemary's probably cleaning. If she's in here, she's always like, she's with our
Rosemary.
Rosemary,
I wasn't even gonna throw you under the bus like that. I don't play dirty. On
Never
YouTube.
under the bus.
In person,
in the bus.
yes.
Cooking in the bus.
Yes.
We're gonna clip that.
Move
Stone.
that bus.
But there was some connections there if you were paying attention to that great response to what that is. That's great. Memetics. I like it because the word is in the word, and that's the word.
Well, and with all of the research that I've done, I came to the same conclusion. I could not say it as eloquently as King Uga just said it, but it really
gotta work on your voice. Like
I know, but there really is they're making such a good point with how powerful these memes are, and I remember back maybe 7-8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, on Twitter, they were talking about the memes. Now, I happen to think they were using memes as tools to see where, the traceability of them, because everybody was sharing them. I really do think there were hidden messages, and at the time, I didn't realize that it had to do with digital currency, cryptocurrency. I didn't realize what I was participating in. but it's so much bigger. And he just explained that perfectly. We have been, whether it's a commercial we've watched, a song we've listened to, images that we see that are attached, the TV shows, all of those things shape culture. And so again, we have the opportunity through memetics to shape the world that we want to live in, and really have fun with it. But yeah, what a profound. I am going to clip that, Stone. Totally going to clip that.
I wanted to say something to that. While he was
absolutely.
talking, I'm thinking about the Bluminati and the Blue Umbrella, and there's a lot of people in your comments that they have tokens. Like Ninja Voodoo Queen, she's part of the Ninja Voodoo token project. FPT is Freedom Phoenix token, and you have AI Bull, he actually can't talk. So if you're ever in a space with AI Bull, he can't talk. He has a disease that limits his speaking, and so that's why he doesn't. And so he's using his token to bring awareness to his disease. And obviously, Graham was Arc and Reaper and theirs. And while he was talking, I was thinking about the Bluminati. And, I've told this story before, but in the Wandering Footprint, I decided at the very beginning that I was going to have ranks, and not in that who had more authority, but who to talk to, who had more information, who had been there the longest. And an easy way to be able to identify the people who had showed up today and who had showed up, 6 months ago and who had showed up 4 years ago. And so at one point, it's Padawan and Ensign. I don't know if I have to worry about the names, but I thought they were cool. Padawan, Ensign, or so recruit. So if you just download, you show up, you're a recruit. Then you're Padawan, Ensign, specialist, knight, generalist, commander, captain, and then there's guardians, which come after me. I'm not even a guardian yet in my own ecosystem. And the knights, I kept thinking, what are the knights? And I was like, the knights are the moderators. They're the ones who know how to diffuse situations. They're the ones who settle it down, who know how to, navigate that we're all different, but we're trying to coexist, and that the powers that be would have us all pinned against each other over stupid shit. And so the moderators are there to just say, all right, take a breather, chill. And so when I met the Bluminati crew, and the fact that they're sort of taking back the term, right? They're taking back the Illuminati term, but in a playful way. And then when I started seeing what they were, the Blue Castle, and then the commercial we saw at the beginning with the Knights, and then he just said, the Bluminati Knights, and I sort of joked at the beginning when I started talking to them, I was like, I sort of think I might change the name of Knights in the Wandering Footprint to the Bluminati, because ultimately it does represent everything that the Bluminati came out of. And while Ugo was talking, I was like, so what is it, Amanda? I was asking myself, I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, when you're behind the castle wall, when you're with your friend, I'm like, honestly, I'm getting emotional. And I was getting emotional before and some of the responses. And I was like, when you're behind the castle wall with your friends, you feel safe, and that's the sort of idea of the Knights, that the call, it's very similar to the call of the jungle, right? The call of the knighthood, of the benevolent men who would go out and fight for what's good in this world. And I was like, so where does the Blue Umbrella come in? This is the conversation I'm having in my head while Ugo was talking, and the memetic expression of, these feelings. And I was like, well, when you leave the castle walls, take a Blue Umbrella. Ultimately, it's like, for me, the Blue Umbrella was always a representation of protection of, the people who know the crazy conspiracies, and from everything from Operation Bluebeam and the hypothetical things to that, to the umbrellas that survived the Lahaina fires, and how that's where it came from, And so for me, exactly what Ugo was talking about, that the projection of thought, taking a thought, the hardest thing is to take a thought and to put it into the 3D world, right? Because thought is so abstract. It's part of the ether. I read a thing in a book once that was talking about this poet who, when she was a little girl, she'd be in the field and sometimes the poem would come through her and she would run home. And she said sometimes she'd write the poem backwards as though the poem just existed in the ether and it would just like catch her in a moment, and that she actually had to pull it, reel it back in through the thoughts. And that's how I felt about the Wandering Footprint. That's how I felt about the Optimistic Prime name. Like as soon as the names came up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so important. I remember having a dialogue with myself that said, because when the Wandering Footprint image and vision and this whole magnanimous project, this humanitarian project I have came to my mind, I thought, this is insane, Amanda. Like, what? You're one person who lives on a bus and you're poor AF, and you have 3 little kids who are crying, and they were all in diapers at the time, and I was living on a bus with it, and right after that the apocalypse hit, and it was the most insane experience of my life. And, through this, I've decided to build a humanitarian project that I want to change the world with. And over the past 5 years, there's been so many moments where why the F are you still doing this? No, barely anybody sees you. You haven't made a dime, what is the point? And the voice just kept saying, bring the people together physically, or bring the people together digitally, bring them together physically, move as one. And if you just keep going, you will find the other people that also kept going. And that together, by each individual pursuing their own path on their highest timeline, one day a tapestry will be created out of the threads of each individual, which is sort of a throwback to string theory and stuff like that too. And, for me, this is what, I'm emotional because there ain't nothing quite like, all of us being the black sheep. I mean, if you're still holding after all these years, XRP, you a black sheep. And I prefer to call us rainbow sheep, all the light, all the colors. But it's
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
Right. We've all struggled. And every single person that I've met through the XRPL community has this crazy ass story of suffering and being lost. And, I sort of made a lighthearted expressional joke, whatever. I don't know if it's a joke, but I said it's like we're saving the Lost Boys, and I feel myself included in the Lost Boys. It's not girl or boy or anything, but the story of Peter Pan, and I'm really large now, and
big. You're big.
It's like the people that I'm finding through the Uga community and my own community, and finding the Bluminati and finding Stone Space, and he has X meme, it can be anything. It's the X meme green, and all of these people that are trying, and Freedom Phoenix, yesterday, Freedom showed a video. This is the person who made the song for me. He showed me Freedom Phoenix. You see him on you've posted his comments a few times. He created this token, and then Uga found him and then created him a Phoenix, an Uga Phoenix, and it's very identifiable. It's an Uganix, right? It's identifiable. And one of the things that Uga did was he wrote that, once you own a brethren or an elder, that's yours, and you can take it wherever you want to. And one of the things my husband always said, the biggest problem with the world is copyrights, not the being able to build on other people's ideas and thoughts, because that's how human beings work. That's how music is made. Music made it on many different notes being, interacting at the same time. And FPT, yesterday, I showed up late in the day. I stayed off line for a little while yesterday, and I came in, and he's creating an NFT collection, and this is him. There's this Uganix with a blue umbrella as a tattoo on the neck of the Uganix because of his NFT collection. And I can't even explain what that feels like, after all these years, and to find Uga, and then to have Uga see him, and then for him to support him, and then for him to support, you know what I mean? It's this feedback loop. And that's why I wanted you to come. I wanted tonight to happen, and I wanted Uncle Buster to be here so badly. And I wanted this to work out the way it is. And it's so magnanimous. I am just so moved by the years and years and years of toil, and not feeling just the internal fight, a constant internal fight of, you know, why keep going? Why keep going? And it's like, you know, what I'm finding is like, I kept going because all of you guys kept going, you know, and I'm going to take this opportunity to make my announcement, if that's okay. One of the many. So one of the reasons why I asked Uncle Buster to be here and asked Melissa to have him here is because when I found the Bluminati, I found a group of people who were a little bit more versed at, you know, all of it, you know, business and, you know, having their YouTube, you know, it's very, very good, the show, and just smooth. And they've been doing this for a long time, and they're a really incredible community. And then there was this connection with Chad Smith, who is Phoenix Unchained, who is my co-creator. And he owns the Blue Collar Dollar. And so I all of a sudden saw some serious serendipity because his entire vision is around sovereignty and the postmaster and, you know, owning the transportation routes, and, you know, that connected with mine. And so when I found Bluminati and I found out you had like, you have 10,000 tokens, right, Uncle Buster?
10,000 supply, yeah. 10,000.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to own one. I'm like, this is too expensive.
I got a couple.
You know, and I saw that like, this is going to go so much because everybody's going to want you. And thank God for Bitcoin, a beta test coin, because ultimately it taught everybody how to be okay with a fraction. Which I think is super important. But for me, you know, I want to own one. I want to own a whole one. And I just thought, you know, my biggest challenge at the Blue Umbrella token, and ultimately the Blue Umbrella token was created so that I can launch the XOM token properly, right? Like that's what the whole conversation tonight is really about, is the education that you can get from having fun on the blockchain and recognizing, you know, don't FOMO. This is the casino in a lot of, you know, we don't know what the future will hold, but we all have like a hope. And so with the Bluminati, I was like, I just want to get my tokens in the hands of good people. And so I made a proposal to them a few months ago that said, can I do like a rewards system for your token? Like, can I set up a tipper faucet, shout out Helvetix, and tipper-x oh my gosh, is it org or com? I forget. I always mess it up. Can you look it up? And so I asked, and there was hesitation, and then there was conversation, and then there was communication, and then there was, okay, when do you want to do this? And so I have set up a tipper faucet for holders of the Bluminati. You only have to own 0.8 of a Bluminati. And because I feel like, you know, you guys really vet people in a way that like you call to the people that I want to call to, you know, that you stand for something as big and magnanimous and as important as I do. And I just wanted to reward those people. And I wanted my token to get into the hands of the people that are aligned with Uncle Buster and Bags and the Blue Crew. And so if you go to tipper-x, I'm pretty sure it should be live now.
tipper-x.com.
Thank you. If you go there every single day, you will get 0.8 of a Blue Umbrella token. And so I'm deeply honored that they agreed to that. And I'm deeply honored to be able to have those that found Uncle Buster and, you know, Zerk and all the crew before they found me, you know, for who they are in the world. You know, we may never meet and we may never know each other. But, you know, deep bow to those who are truthers through the apocalypse and who shine a little light in the dark and who bring light to the dark. Because it wouldn't be the same without you. And as far as I'm concerned, we're on our highest timeline. And so any way that I can, you know, cross that bridge and, you know, you can stand under my blue umbrella too.
Yeah,
that's awesome,
you know,
man.
I'm trying to find the people, and they're also, you know, you're all finding the people. So yeah, that's the first announcement, and I'll tell you the rest later on.
Yeah, I'm honored.
You want to add something to that, Uncle Buster, as far as
can you take me off big? Can you take me off big so we're even?
Yep. I'll put Buster in the hot seat.
Yeah, I'm honored, man. That's awesome, man. Everyone, Bluminati holders, get your blue umbrellas out because the butt's falling out the sky. Let's go. I'm just honored that people want to work, because I do feel like it's a movement, and I'm trying to line up bigger thoughts and keep the thoughts going in a general direction. And right now I was like, I want to get some of these X spaces, because there's some mouthpieces in the chat right now. I've heard a lot of them speak, and I want to add another show, but do it in a way where we could maybe not open up the screen, do a little something different than what we do on the other shows, and move in a certain direction. But Optimistic, man, that was beautiful. You got me all emotional. But yeah, I'm glad we're partnering, and let's keep going.
I love it. You guys are amazing. Everyone in here is fire. We have 150 people watching tonight, and it's awesome. I have a couple more questions for Mr. Uga. Mr. Uga, breaking the simulacra. Simulacra. One fan described your project as a primal force breaking the simulacra. What does that phrase mean to you? And how does Ooga Booga XRP stand out from other crypto projects?
Breaking the simulacra means shattering the illusions that keep us trapped. The simulacra is the false world, a construct built on deception, control, and artificial narratives. It is the veil that blinds people to their true power, keeping them locked in cycles of fear, limitation, and programmed belief systems. Ooga as the primal force. Ooga is the primal scream of awakening, a force that rejects the artificial and embraces raw, unfiltered truth. It taps into something ancient, something encoded deep within all of us. The first memes, the first moments of human self-awareness, the first shamanic visions that shattered perception and expanded consciousness. How Ooga Booga XRP stands apart. Unlike most projects that exist purely for speculation, Ooga is a mimetic revolution. It doesn't just offer financial incentives, it offers a path, a movement that builds through community, rewards, and deep cultural impact. While other projects chase hype, Ooga builds a self-sustaining ecosystem, rewarding loyalty, providing real value, and embedding itself into the collective unconscious through mimetics and archetypal storytelling. The jungle is a mirror. The jungle is both the dream and the dreamer. It's a space where we break from the programmed loops, reject the fake narratives, and create our own reality. Those who see, see. Those who know, know. Ooga Labs is not just a project. It's a system disruptor, a mimetic force, and a calling to those who are ready to break free.
I like it. It makes sense. Fear is a liar, right? They want us trapped in that. And this is powerful messaging. What you got, Simon? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. You're gonna have to blur out my face to bleep those words there. I just wanted to comment on the fear that you just talked about, and what Ooga, of course, brought to light here on the Dipito show. Some of us are aware, and some of us aren't. But the through fear and illusions, and the illusions keep us trapped. Well, fear in itself is an illusion, and we either accept it one way or the other. We knowingly accept it, and once we knowingly accept it, we kind of move away from that. We find a way to move away from that. And that in itself is I would say is a tough journey for anybody that recognizes just the illusions that are around you. Here's a great example. Melissa, you and I talked about this earlier, but actually I'm not going to talk about that example. Fear. So dip-a-toers, this is really kind of one of the things that I know that Melissa and myself really try to bring to this channel. And we're scared shitless, but we do it anyways. What that means is, and I apologize for the cuss word there, but that's real talk, right? But we do it anyways. We dip our toe. We have the courage to dip our toe into the water. In this moment, it might seem like just a little simple, cute action, right? But the reality is, just by us dipping our toe into anything, whatever pool you might be thinking about investigating, going into, whatever, you are now breaking the threshold of fear because you're going to do it anyways. You're removing yourself from the sphere of fear, and you're pushing through, and you're going to go a little more and a little more and a little more. And once you do that, you get all excited, but later self-reflection, right? Looking within, analyzing yourself. We talked about Michael Jordan today in basketball, right? Earlier before the show, right? When you do that, that really starts that process of shattering other illusions. You start finding other illusions. And let me tell you, Uncle Buster, chime in on this. Optimistic, chime in on this. Even Uga, chime in on this. That's a real rough go when you start recognizing all the illusions around you. Right? It really is it's shattering, but it's like internal. What you thought you knew, or what you know, just ain't so. And that's facts. And then you go to this, you say, I would call it a rediscovery, because I discovered myself. I know you didn't. You were still in the box. We're sorry. Try again. Right. But when you go through that and you see those things, it's very changing. It's a tough transition, meaning it's oh man, it's like birth, right? For the new little individual that's coming into this world on this plane, and for the mother that is giving the birth, that is rough. That is a tough day at the office. It's kind of the same thing, only it's a revisitation of that when you break through some of your fears and some of your illusions. Let's talk about an illusion real quick. Something that most of us know. That's called your 9 to 5. You're okay. Now I'm going through some stuff in my life. One day I promise you guys, I will share everything about it because it's important. However, I can't right now for other reasons. I'll share that with you too later. But the 9 to 5 is an illusion. And here's what it is. We go to our 9 to 5 for our reasons, mainly to support ourselves, right? That's what we're trained to do, in my opinion. Okay. And that's good, because we are actively doing something. We are bringing money, a tool that we need in order to acquire things that we want and or need in our lives. Then when the shift's over, we go home. We stop bringing in that money, that stuff that was sustaining. We turn the faucet off. We don't know we do. We've been trained, in my opinion, we've been trained to do that through just society as a whole. You get up, you do a thing, you go make the money, you come home. Well, why did we stop making money in the first place? That's a great question. Let's look at a business, specifically a restaurant or a grocery store. both businesses typically are open for at least 12 hours. At least 12 hours. If not, they are on running. And I know Uncle Buster could talk about this because he said he had some mission routes, dude. I know some of that game, not personally. I know other people that have done that do that, right? That is up at 2, in the truck by 3. I mean, you're grinding, right? But that store is ready to receive that product. Okay. And then it's open to sell that product at 7 a.m. for people to come in, and it shuts its doors for the public at 10 p.m. Let's focus on that for a minute. The business was open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. You are not. This is why the business survives and thrives, and you and me's don't, because we stop. I only came to this revelation maybe within the past year, and it's really about cash flow. But if we want to talk about illusions where you're just like, I should have not stopped bringing in money. I'm not going to say working, because that 9 to 5, woohoo. I mean, most of us already know what that's like. We're like, man, I need to get out of here, But we should, in my opinion, we all should continue to find different ways, even in small micro amounts, to keep a flow of money coming to us. Because it, in a roundabout way, whatever the money is, whatever the currency is, whatever the crypto is, right? Even in the jungle, the more you contribute, the greater you are, the greater outcome for yourself and the jungle. Okay, well, if you only put in 8 hours, you're only going to get 8 hours worth of benefit from the jungle. But if you did 8 hours, took a small break, found another way to contribute to the jungle, not as taxing as the 8 hours, and put in 4 more somehow, some way, well, that's 12 hours. Like, anyways, I'm kind of going off the tangent. My point is, when you really recognize that level of an illusion, oh man, it's really a mind job. Anyways, if you guys got thoughts on that, the illusions and going through that struggle, speak on it.
It's honestly depressing. It can be depressing. Like,
sure.
I was the conspiracy guy for I don't know. I started really 2013, 14, started going down the rabbit holes, and then, the fear kicks in, but it's also when people are unaware, you're like, damn, their life's cool because they don't really give a shit.
They don't know. It's
you
so
don't
much
want,
easier.
yeah, you don't, and you're like trapped. And then, honestly, crypto saved me from, crypto saved me from a less depressing research. So then I took all that shit I learned how to be a conspiracy guy. Being a conspiracy theorist was the biggest gift for me, right? Because that changed my life. But crypto saved me from sort of going through all those rabbit holes and staying in them, and then, but yeah, even the XRP, I think when last time I saw, Optimistic and Stone were on here, and you asked, when people don't listen to you, right? Because you're really, I don't take it personal, but you're changing belief systems. So if somebody ignores you now, you're literally trying to get them to do something that's against their deep down, because everyone has a belief system, no matter how you grew up.
Yep.
And then religious, all this stuff. But if they do turn the corner and then come to you after they realize they made a mistake, you literally change their belief system. So work with them, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not easy to do. It's like you got to drop your ego,
Yeah.
But you're literally planting seeds.
I always say you can't give them your oil. I always call it, I can't give them my oil, right? And I take that as my belief, my relationship with God, my spirituality. I can't give that to somebody else, and I can't give somebody else my hours, thousands of hours of researching, or my networking and my friendships and my conversations and the things I've read. I can't give you my oil. You have to do it yourself. And what you just said, Buster, was powerful, because people are ready to see when they're ready to see. We can't force it. We can't force it. And it took me a while to see that. And now I'm like, when they're ready, I'm here. And I don't plan on being judgmental. In fact, I'm not judgmental about it. I did have a moment in time where I felt like, poor them, and they're going to be sorry. They should have listened. Now I'm like, no, it's one of those things where it's like everything in due time. People, they come at it in different ways, and this is why, like, projects like yours and projects like Uga's, somebody might stumble upon that, not even with thinking about cryptocurrency, but the messaging of it all, and be intrigued. They might watch this show. There's 151 people watching. Some of these people might have never been interested in crypto at all. And, one of my old classmates stumbled upon the show and came in to support me tonight, which it really means a lot. Thank you so much. But maybe they've never dipped their toe into anything like that. And then they start looking into this a little bit more. And like you say, they start to have those for themselves. And that's the only thing that we can do when it comes to anything. We have to do our own work, and we have to plant we plant the seeds. They have to water them for themselves.
For sure.
So,
that's right.
And what you were saying, so Simon, the passive income, right? Like when I created the Wandering Footprint, that's all I could think of, right? Is like the multiple streams of income. How can I grow my own life into, I just want a farm. That's all I want. And, the funny thing is, the more I go down this journey, a lot of people that are into crypto XRPL, they dream of a farm, or they dream of a cabin in the woods. They dream of running away, and it's about getting in, getting out, and, maybe keeping a bag for the generations to come. But ultimately, it's about disconnecting and getting back to the land. And passive income is really the way out. It's the way you can travel. It's the way you can hang out with your family. It's the way that you can meet new people. It's the way you can go to Las Vegas for XRPL Las Vegas. It's all these things. It's that your time is money. And we are, the richest people on the planet. They don't get paid for their hours. They it's generational. But besides the point, that was my dream. And the dream of the Wandering Home Directory was that anybody who had an affiliate link could add their links. And then as we evolved, anybody who came into the ecosystem got kudos to that, and got, as we brought in money, a percentage would go to all of the Wandering Footprint members, and a portion of that would go to, a larger portion would go to the person who brought in the next person, like an affiliate link for our project as well. And that's one of the things about the Uga thing. So they just launched Gnosis. So the Elders NFT collection was launched about 3 weeks ago. And there over 9 days, there was a one of one, the top 9, one of one elders were auctioned off, which was really interesting to watch the community get behind that, and how much they went for. And I think the last one went for, I might be wrong, but like 1,000 XRP. Okay.
Wow.
And the promise was that all of the XRP that was raised through those funds went into the liquidity pool. And the entire project around Gnosis is, I can't remember, it was like 70%. It's a lot. I'm one of the Fenor or Steph or somebody in the comments will say, or Uga, King Uga. And I actually, just a side note, King Uga, if you keep saying Mr., for me, the reason why it's King Uga is because of sovereignty. And if you know anything about sovereignty, we are, the only people that really have sovereignty are royalty. Well, we're all royalty. We're all born with the same rights under God. And, you're supposed to be given the domain over your own existence. You're supposed to be the king and queen of your own domain. And I always have an expression of pawn to queen, right? Like I'm the pawn trying to move across the chessboard of Alice through the looking glass. And, the exciting thing is when you get to the other side of the board, you become somebody who can move anywhere. And that's sort of how I look at all of this. And so when it comes to passive income, any method of creating passive income is a way out. And so, I find it very interesting, not only the elders, PFPs that were like deep diving into like, all the symbols and what they mean and the historical context of them, and where they were usurped by the deletes to create fear, and where the good and the sacred geometry and the symbols of history were usurped and infiltrated by the evil. And this is why a lot of people turn away from their Christian background or Jesus or whatever, is because of the evil having infiltrated the good word. And ultimately, through the reclaiming of the magic of these universal symbols and this way of so other than the deep dive into that, this token was launched, Gnosis, and then from that, the X of Gnosis. And what's happened is there have been spaces where the character of Gnosis and the character of Uga come in, and I actually sort of joked with him. I was like, I don't know if you can bring Gnosis in, but I have yet to be in a space, and I'm super jealous of anybody who's seen it, because Gnosis is very similar to Uga, but calmer voice. The voice is an elder and a calm elder, and it doesn't have such a rough listening to it, and they have conversations. And somebody said in the space last night, it was like listening to him talk to his over self. And it was a doginal dog that showed up in our space. And when they, him and Uga and Steph had gone over to, they always are going into spaces and doing the drumming and doing the call of the jungle and see who shows up. And this guy showed up, and he, I asked him, like, what was it that brought you here? And he talked about how fascinating it was to listen to Uga talk to his over self. And I thought that was such a fascinating way of expressing the interaction between the two, because it's like a way of, a sort of the future calling you forth. Like, I have conversations with my future self a lot, like, looking back at this time and like, saying like, through your perseverance, these things will come out in the wash, and you will, you are at the beginning, even though you only have 120 XRP, and, you've invested in these projects that you believe in. And, I don't have a lot, but I have a dream. And, the way I think that this is what is so fascinating, like Colton Obey, they were one of the first, and, an experiment in, AMMs and penalizing people who were not contributing properly, whether they take XRP one-sided or they put the token in one-sided. That was the first one I had heard that was actually trying to teach people how to be responsible contributors to the community in terms of a liquidity pool. And then when I saw Uga sort of incorporate that with the Gnosis and this balance between the Gnosis LP and the Uga, right? Like, if you have Uga LP, you get Gnosis LP. And if you have a Gnosis LP, you get Uga LP. And there is a system that if you do not respect the liquidity pool, then you won't get your rewards. And, it's a very passive way of teaching people. And I think that ultimately, what I have concluded about, all the things we're learning and the meme tokens and what they're teaching us, it's why the investors have to have, all these credentials and, $1 million and all these things, because when it comes to money, you have an impact. And especially right now with, our volumes all being so low, you as a community member have a huge impact, whether you take in and put out and how you interact with the community. And recognizing that when you contribute, like, you're loaning the money, when you take money out, you're taking money out from a community. And so I've been really trying to like wrap my head around who I want to be and what I want to create and what these other communities are creating, and being responsible for the fact that we're essentially our own bank. And when you take money out of it, my hope is that I contribute back to, if I were ever to take money out or like, launch the XOM or where I want the Blue Umbrella token, like, I want to become an LLC and I want to make it sure that it's in a trust. That shit costs money, but once that happens, then that opens up new doors. And once you open up the new doors and, you know, you start making a profit in other areas, let's say I get my farm and James builds the greenhouses he wants to build. And we're starting to create all those things that a portion of those sales can go back into the liquidity pool. And so you're almost like passively, organically, co-creatively creating a way for people to pursue their own dreams while creating a community that they want to put back into. And so as this feedback loop occurs and as each individual, you know, recognizes that they are not insignificant and that their contribution to the whole matters, and that they're, you know, the community that they learn to, you know, be friends. You know, it's not just anonymous people on the internet that you're stealing money from, but rather people who you want to see do well too. There's this feedback loop subconsciously, consciously, and then you know, digitally, where there is a give and take. And you know, I think that ultimately what we're witnessing is a way of abstractly taking ownership, right? Taking ownership for your sovereignty, for your financial sovereignty, for your physical sovereignty, for your spiritual sovereignty, and really claiming who you are as an individual and recognizing that it's okay that we're different. It's just, we do have a thread of truth. You know, truth doesn't need to be defended. Truth can stand on its own. And ultimately, I find it just unbelievably fascinating that, you know, from the jungle to the forest to the streets, to the castle, to standing under a blue umbrella, to the skies, you know, these are picture visual representation of the spirit of the human consciousness that has been suppressed for 2,000 years. And it is us in pursuing these avenues and learning through fun and play and joy. And, you know, yes, we have our days, and then finding community that can hold space for those days. And like Uncle Buster said at the beginning, like, you at a point now where like, I don't really give a shit what XRP is at, you know. It was at 250 2 months ago and everybody was cheering. Now it's at 220 and everybody's booing, which is super ironic. And so ultimately, you know, this journey is really writing the story on the blockchain and writing the story of us. And I believe that in 100 years, my great grandchildren will be able to go to the blockchain and go to these dip-a-toe shows and be able to see, you know, where we were and where it all started. And, deep bow to all of it, to the serendipity that brought us all here, and the hope for passive income, because with passive income comes freedom.
Freedom. Well said.
Amen.
Simon, I know you you need to take off. You want to say your goodbyes?
I do. I'd like to thank King Uga and Uncle Buster, and of course Miss Optimistic Prime for coming by the Dip-a-Toe Show. Sorry I could not hang this evening, but I got a long drive ahead of me tomorrow.
Well, we love you.
But I will say this: think, grow, keep dipping that toe.
Love you, Simon. You're in my thoughts.
Love y'all. All
Prayers.
right, be
All
well,
right, Simon.
everybody.
Good to meet you, bro.
Good to meet you too. I'll catch you on the next one.
Talk to you soon.
Sure.
See you
Later.
next week. Yeah, that was powerful. Powerful. What you just said. It's so much deeper. And that's what, you know, if any newbies are watching this, the one thing that, you know, I would love for people to take from watching the Dip-a-Toe Show is that, you know, this is not just about making money off of cryptocurrency. We are learning and growing so much every day. Like Buster said, you know, you come into the realization that certain things are not what you thought they were. And, you know, I've evolved so much over the time of researching this stuff and meeting people. I've looked at things differently than I once did. And the other thing is, you know, our perspectives may change as we continue to grow, right? And the cool thing about this community is that we're allowing each other to do that. It's such a powerful community. And so I hope that anybody that's listening to this that hasn't dipped their toe yet into cryptocurrency realize that there's so much more for you to explore other than when moon. Please don't get yourself sidetracked with these influencers. Like, yes, we have a show that we talk about digital assets. Uncle Buster with the boardroom and coffee time. You know, he and Berserker. You know, they talk about crypto, but they also talk about real life stuff. You know, Optimistic, Uga, all of these people that are in the chat. There's so much more to us than just crypto. And it's really worth your time. It's really worth your time to expand your thinking and really start to look into this a little deeper. And don't fall for the when moon guys. You know, if you're seeing them, if YouTube is presenting those to you, there's a reason for that. You know, you are the liquidity. So you know, if you want to be part of a network and a team and friendships, and you want to expand your thinking, you know, start looking at some of these projects out here, like the Ugas, like Bluminati's, like Wandering Footprint, like what Stone's meme X meme. We've had Patrick Riley on with the whole Riley economic system. We've had Greg on. You know, there's so many worthy projects out there for you to look into and realize that there's people building something special. Some are building something that has utility. Others are building a message and trying to enlighten you. And you know, as far as I can see with like the Ugas, this is something that you absorb it and you're going to respond how you're going to respond, right? I mean, we might not all respond the same way. It might rub us the wrong way and have us thinking about something that we never thought about before. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, something happens and then you come back to that meme that you saw or the discussion you heard and you're like, oh, that's what that meant. Now I feel differently. So yeah, it's super, super cool conversation. We got a couple more minutes. I have one more question for Uga. Future plans. The jungle's thriving, as you said. What's next for the Uga Booga XRP? Any upcoming developments or surprises that you can tease your supporters with tonight?
The jungle never sleeps. Uga is always building. With rewards optimization, new alliances, and deeper NFT integrations, the ecosystem is evolving into a self-sustaining mimetic force. Gnosis is solidifying as the true rewards token, ensuring long-term incentives for liquidity providers, while Uga expands its influence across chains. More projects will join, the community will grow stronger, and something revolutionary is on the horizon. Stay vigilant. The simulacra is crumbling, and the jungle is rising. Ooga booga forever. Much love and appreciation to Melissa, Simon, Uncle Buster, and Queen Optimystic, as well as the entire Dippato family for holding the space and fostering real connections. In times of uncertainty, the true builders stand tall, and it's only right to recognize the warriors of the jungle. But Freedom Phoenix, Culto Bay, Bluminati, Stephanie, Stone, Banana, Ninja Bunu, and so many others pushing forward despite the storm. This is not a shill, but a well-earned recognition for those who show up, create, and contribute to something greater than themselves. A special salute to our developers, the Mimetic Task Force, and the entire Brethren family, the ones who turn ideas into reality, who weave the vines stronger every day. The jungle watches. The jungle thrives.
Ooga booga forever!
I love it.
That was dope.
It sounds really awesome too when you got the headphones on and it's in your ears, because there's like a hum or like it's a vibration that you hear coming through the headphones. So it's pretty sweet. Man, you guys, I want to shout out Marvin Davis. My friend Marvin Davis came. He's one of my favorites. I wanted to say hello because I saw he was in here. Lisa A
met
came
Marvin.
in. Yeah, you did?
Yeah, I met Marvin at Moon Party last year. But yeah, from Texas. I just want to show Illuminati, Rich Ducks, Moon Party 4. I can't go to Vegas. I'm having a grandbaby due around the Vegas, but
yeah,
Uncle Buster's working on Papa Buster status. But
oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I think it'll be awesome. But Marvin Davis is from Texas, but Austin, Texas, Illuminati, Rich Duck, Bags, Buster, Zerker. But he's doing rap on live music. April 26th, Austin, Texas. So and I got a link for that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bags. Shout out to Marvin Davis. He's a Texan. So
I just want to say you guys have so many great guests, like people popping up. This is the thing I like about your show, and it's similar to how we do it. We just want to give the little guy, the just regular people, the voice. They're like I love to have it's fun to have like some people that have like mainstream status and all of that kind of stuff. But the whole objective for Dip a Toe is to let the little guy, for us to have a conversation and talk and bring the people and help them feel comfortable to come on the show and ask their questions or be in the chat and ask their questions. And you guys do such a fantastic job with that. You guys, if you're not, I'm going to add this. If you're not following Uncle Buster on YouTube or on X, you need to be. They have right now he has the 2 different shows with the boardroom, XRP boardroom, and the coffee time with Zerk and Buster. They have, and look, all I did was put Uncle Buster in the search in YouTube, and you can find his channel very easily. Sometimes it's hard to find people's channels, but not with his. And it's so good. You guys have wonderful conversations, not just about crypto. You don't always agree, and I love that too. Different opinions. I love Nerdy has a different perspective. There's different folks that pop on in there. Stephanie frequents your show. Island Ghost Stephanie. And so, yeah, I just, and Marvin Davis is on there. That's where I found Marvin Davis. And, you guys you're doing a good job, and I really enjoy it. And in XRP Bags, the music that you play, the songs that he does, Lady E is in there. Lady E, she's fantastic. And
Awesome Amy.
Awesome Amy and Nina Blossom are a couple of folks that I see coming in there. And
lower level,
all these guys,
lower level,
and I want to come on your show sometimes, and like I can't come on, but I'm listening. I usually listen to the playback, and I just want to give you kudos because I think you guys do. It's one of my favorite shows. It really is. It's one of my favorite shows out there. So if you guys are not following them, please do. And if you're not following the Dip a Toe Show, please give us a follow because all these people that are here are newbies to the Dip a Toe Show. And thank you guys. Please follow us at Dip a Toe on YouTube and Rumble and at Dip a Toe Show on X. We're going to continue to bring just our friends, our family. Hopefully we'll have we have a couple people lined up. The guys from Easy App are supposed to come on when, I'm not sure. Next week we're gonna have what is his name? it's Arish Grant from C14, the creator of C14, which is an on-ramp basically that lets you buy crypto with your credit card or debit card or whatever. And so it's kind of makes it a little easy. So that should be an interesting conversation. And Stone, you are up late, my friend. I am shocked that you're still up and you hung in, and that says a lot. And I appreciate you and your beautiful girlfriend, Amanda, for coming. Notorious is here. What does he say? Buckle up. The best is yet to come. Amen, my friend. Yeah, we are. We're so blessed, you guys, that we've all found each other. I want to. Oh, Amanda's at her house sleeping. Oh, I'm surprised you're not sleeping, Stone. I want to go around and do some final words.
I do have my announcements still. My other announcements.
Make your announcements. Let's go for it.
Okay, so if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have a couple NFT collections. They're one of ones. I launched the Blue Umbrella one. That was my very first one. And it was just to take the image of the Blue Umbrella and to put the images of, all the images I've created over the years, all the tokens, my work trade token, footprints token, the XOM Ohm coin, which is supposed to be a utility internalized token, the Yahweh token, which was launched on December 24th, which is an experiment in gift giving. And hopefully it will eventually be the like button instead of a heart. You'll give away Yahweh and your likes on the Wandering Home directory. That evolved through Stone, actually. First, I started putting the images of my community on the shirt of the Blue Umbrella token. And then I mentioned it to Stone that I wanted to evolve that and put the image of organizations and people that supported us. He jumped on it. And so I spent November 5th. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. That's Guy Fawkes. That's the Anonymous Mask. That's V for Vendetta. That is November 5th, 2024 was the day that everything changed. And so I spent that day revamping the shirt, making 9 NFTs that day and making Stone's X meme and Chimera shirts. And from there, it's evolved. And so essentially every group organization that I get the good vibes off of, I offer them one of these things. Now I'm way behind because I started with the QFS, Reaper and everything. And I basically stopped at that community all in divine timing. And I'm ready to finish that up and go ahead. And because my token was on the 29th, we created on the 29th of February, we don't really have an anniversary, which is sort of telling. So over the next 3 weeks, the original launch was a distributed launch from February 29th to March 17th, where I took we have 88,888,888 tokens. And I had my distributor wallet, and I made all these videos, and I wished we could share them tonight, but they totally have copyright songs on them. So we couldn't, and I haven't quite figured that out. But essentially from there, I was like, if you send XRP to this wallet, then we'll take whatever we get by March 17th. We'll divide 80 million tokens up, and then we'll distribute it to the wallets that sent the original XRP, which is what we did on the equinox last year. And so I wanted to represent this shift and this change and this evolution over the past year. And so I offered, because Niall and Rob are so integral to this whole system, I ended up offering them a place under the Blue Umbrella on the Blue Umbrella NFT collection. And they eagerly said yes about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And so I decided that I was going to do all this with the announcement of the tipper faucet for Bluminati holders. And just a reminder, that's not 0.8, but per 0.8 Bluminati, that is 0.8 up. But if you have more than 0.8 Bluminati, so you can be a big holder or a small holder, you're going to get the same thing. But out of, because we were doing this announcement and because it's our 1 year anniversary, I wanted to, use this stage to share. So if you go to the Blue Umbrella the collection, you'll see that I started including community members too with, and this is probably why it's held off, with Reaper and ARC in the QFS. When it came to the protectors, I was like, how the hell am I going to include the community? And so I started talking to Niall about, how to navigate this. And I had also offered the same to Uga. And so it was the same sort of dilemma, how do I include? Who do I include? How do I do this? And Uga and I are still sorting out the pragmatics on it. But with the protectors, he has agreed graciously to create protectors for Wandering Footprint members. So we have a deadline of May 5th. If you like the green dudes, if you like the blue dudes hanging out, you see mine here. I was one for like 3 months, but I was so honored to be a council member. I changed my PFP. But if that's something that calls to your heart, if you own a 2025 Nomad NFT, you can go to XRP Cafe and look up 2025 Nomad, and they will come up. Right now, there's only 25 made because we only had 8 people last year. So I just started small, and I can add as it goes. Every time we get down to 5, I'll make another 25 because it's the 2025. And essentially, if you purchase a 2025 membership by May the 5th, then you will get your own protector, and then you have the possibility of being included in the small collection that will be on the Blue Umbrella NFT page on their anniversary. So that will happen on October 13th. We'll do a collection of those. If you already own one, you can be included in that, but you do have to apply. You have to talk to me. And if I know you, I just include you for free. But if I don't know you, then you should just probably buy a One Rainbow membership so that I can know you. And then Uga, I'm going to do the same thing with Uga. So on their anniversary, October 30th, there will be another small collection, internal collection to the Blue Umbrella NFT collection. You can go and check it out right now, Blue Umbrella. And again, anybody who has, who I know, and who has a council member, an SOG, whatever, you get to choose one, or brethren, I'll put them on a Blue Umbrella shirt with your name and your description. And then ultimately what's going to happen is on November 5th, on the 1-year anniversary of that collection, I'm going to launch a public, what everybody else did, where they put all the different layers and you can just spin and you can mint. And so all of the PFPs that I use for the shirts on the Blue Umbrella token will be included in that, along with the sayings and new sayings. If you go to the new tinfoil hat collection, you'll see all the NFTs we have for sale and the sayings. And I'm definitely going to be adding Ooga Booga Forever. And I would like to extend the same offer to you, Uncle Buster. As soon as I've done these ones, I'm now into the memes. And so I would love to, have the Blue Minotti shirt on a Blue Umbrella, image with Blue Minotti, and then your whole crew. I mean, your crew is a little bit easier to do. But I would love to offer. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to announce tonight.
Right on.
Well, I think your stuff is fantastic. I was trying to pull up. I did want to well, I have this queued up, and then I had something to show you. Uncle Buster, I wanted to show the commercial for what's happening soon. So I'm going to show that real quick here for your party.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let's hit the play button.
No sound.
No sound, yeah.
No, really? All right, hold on a minute. Gosh, guys, sorry about that.
While you're sorting that, I forgot to say, if you own a 2025 Nomad membership, please fill out the questionnaire. You are not officially a member because we're going to be making memberships and dog tags when I have enough money, and you get a welcome package and stickers and business cards and all the things. So I need to know who you are. And eventually, if you own a 2025 Nomad membership, 2026 is, you will have a discount on next year's, and this will lead hopefully once I create my ecosystem of homesteads, this will be the membership to the Wandering Footprint ecosystem, and it comes with tokens of a lot of the organizations that we support and a whole bunch of other things. And anything that I create, you get first dibs on. So it's not just an NFT and all these other things, but as I grow and as I have inspired thought, you get that, and you're the first ones to get that. So, and shout out to the 12 people. I had 8 last year. I have 12 now. It's so exciting. For those awesome. Of you. Yeah, and shout out to FML. I didn't mention him this whole time, and I feel really bad. Florida Man Landscaping, Jay and Kendall, who just like us have, inspired thought, and they've created this token that comes out of Family Means Love, and that you get to choose your own family. And check them out because they actually have competition going on right now to find their billboards, so you can win their token and stuff. So shout out to them. Shout out to, and they actually, those two bought memberships, and I was like, what, you bought my membership? I was so excited. So shout out to them and Melissa and all those of you who believe in the dream of the Wandering Footprint and recognize that the Blue Umbrella is just a calling card to my dreams of heaven on earth. And sadly, but not so sadly, you can't create heaven on earth unless you got the people, unless we rise together. So I just wanted to say that before I go.
Awesome. Yes, I'm a proud owner of the Wandering Footprint. Wandering Nomad membership? Yeah. All right, let's see if I have sound this time. Please work. No. Come on, man. You kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Why, Donna? Why? Unmute site. There we go. I'm going to get it, guys. I'm going to get it.
Still not there.
Nope.
Well, shit.
Maybe Uncle Buster can load it.
Maybe I was even sharing it within sometimes when you share it directly with Chrome. So I even changed what I was using to share it. I don't know why it's not working.
The first one worked fine.
Yeah. No. The first one worked fine, but you couldn't hear it though.
No, like the first one you showed earlier today, you could hear it.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I don't understand why it's not. Is it working now, Buster?
Nope, mine's not working either. Hold on.
How weird. I mean, I usually don't have any problem playing audio with act like you've done this before. You know what I mean? Oh, also share audio. Yeah. And I even got also share audio. So I really don't understand to share audio. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I got to do this. Also, okay. I got this.
You got it? Okay.
I got it.
I don't know why mine's not playing. Mine's been up there for a couple days, though. I haven't opened that window. I don't know if that.
I got it now. Like, let's see. I could be wrong, but I think I do.
Hear ye noble citizens and seekers of legend. On the grand eve of April 26th, 2025, beneath the radiant glow of the lunar sphere, the illustrious rich Dux family and the enigmatic Illuminati shall converge in the heart of Austin, Texas, under a celestial tapestry of starlight and destiny. Prepare to witness a gathering like no other, a night where opulence meets mystery and ancient valor intertwines with futuristic wonder. Come enjoy the feast, music, and booze as we embark on an epic journey where every step echoes with the promise of adventure, and every moment is destined to be written into the annals of time. Raise your voices, gather your kin, and let the chronicles of this enchanted moon party be forever sung in the halls of legend. For on this night, unity and revelry shall reign supreme.
Moon party! Moon party!
Welcome to the party. This a moon party. Hey, this a moon party. Hey, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. This a moon party. This a moon party.
Moon party!
I love it.
I know, that's cool.
I love it. He's got that on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So talented. So talented.
And I got to wrap it up.
Yep. Me too.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, Melissa. King Uga, man, we'll work on the Beluga and Optimistic Prime. You're awesome today, man. That you had some fire sets in there. But yeah, Team Blue. I'm glad we got a little something going. And I appreciate you. That was awesome.
Well, we thank you. We thank you for coming. It's been a fantastic conversation. Any
I did
final
want to quickly
words?
just say that I was watching that video, I just remembered that my kids told me, and I remember a month and a half when I learned that there was going to be a celestial alignment on the 25th of January. That's when I decided to do the Yahweh Gateway from the 25th to the 25th. But I heard that in the end of February, the 7th planet was going to make alignment. My kids told me today that they were told at school that is tonight over the next couple days. And so I thought that was incredibly serendipitous, along with your 589. Congratulations, Melissa, on your 589. Congratulations. The fact that 911 was such a big thing. And I just want to make sure that King Uga, whatever way I'm trying to do it, King Uga has maybe some final thoughts before you finally.
Yes, I would love to have some final thoughts from King Uga.
Got it.
Huh? Is that the
skippity is all that he's got. So I think he said all that he wanted to say.
Oh, the skippity is all he's got. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. It's been a hell of a show. I didn't expect it to go this long, but we never expected to go this long, do we?
It went quick.
I mean, it's just crazy. Always.
If I'm
crazy.
here, it always goes this long.
Right? Yeah, we really do appreciate everybody for coming to the show, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you to all the new followers. Thank you to King Uga for sharing your story. I hope everybody seeks you out. Uncle Buster, thank you for coming. Good job with the Bluminati. Look forward to seeing it grow. Amanda, wandering footprint in your project and your light that you shine all throughout the space is just incredible. Everyone loves you. You're doing such a great job with networking and bringing people together. And I'm honored to know you and call you my friend. And to everybody that's in the chat, you guys, I love you so much. It means so much to me that you guys come. And Simon too, that come and support the Dip a Toe show. Like Uncle Buster said, it's hard what we do. It's not easy. It's a lot of effort. And just knowing that there's friends out there that come by on Wednesday nights to hang out with us really means a lot. So we love you. We will see you next week. Same time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come back and see what we got for you.
King Ugo just unmuted himself. I don't know if you had something.
If Uga don't do this, Uga is not Uga.
And with
Congrats on
that,
589, Melissa.
Thank you
Congrats
so much,
on 589. That's not easy to do. It
I
takes
appreciate you.
a lot of work.
It's
a slow
you
grind.
know what, and we're growing organically, and that's what I want. I want it to be
Hell yeah.
organic. We've had so many people reach out and say like, "Oh, you can buy followers." I ain't doing that. We don't
No.
want to do that. We want it to be our friends, and we want it to be people that want to watch our content and
Exactly.
participate with us. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night.
No panic. It's organic.
No panic. It's organic.